everybody. How you doing? Yeah, that might be the last time we hear the intro. I don't think a 30-second intro is going to be part of our future. It's too long. It will be stored forever in our archive museum. Yes, today I wanted to talk about Wendi Adelson's breaking point. When was that? Because if you think about the last 12 years of her life, there have been many chapters, right? And there was a point in time where there was still probably a majority of at least ambiguity around her guilt or innocence. Not for me, but for others, for the mass, for the wider population. People didn't know, right? When did that point change? And my argument would be that it changed when Christopher DeCost cross-examined her in 2022 on Catherine McBanower's retrial. Now, that was just, merely a month after Charlie Adelson's arrest, the first arrest from the Adelson family. The second time Wendi had been brought into court, but the second, and then the next time she would be brought into court would be for her own brother to testify for the state in their case, against him. And even if you look at how the direct examination goes each year, Georgia Cappleman, there's a big change from 2019, which we'll check out as well in a bit. We're going to have a look at Christopher DeCost's cross-examination primarily, but at the end of that I want to compare it with Georgia Cappleman from 2019, Tara Kawas from 2019, because back in 2019, the first time that Wendi had been brought into court to discuss the murder of her ex-husband, Dan Markell, father of the children, she was just being brought in as a witness, right? And although Georgia Cappleman made some remarks, difficult questions, strange questions, in all of her examinations, it wasn't until 2023 and then again in 2024 when the pressure from the prosecution table really heated up on their own witness, which is unusual, right? You don't normally see a prosecutor bringing in a witness and then giving that witness a really hard time on the stand. Wendi gets it from all angles, but no angle has been better to date, in my opinion, than that of Christopher DeCost's cross-examination. And that's the beautiful piece of work that we're going to be checking out here. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, everybody in the chat. Enjoy his art, because it really is art, what he does. He's good at it. He's good at it.
Ms. Adelson, this is all about you, isn't it?
Excuse me?
This is all about you, right?
I was called to be a witness and I'm testifying, so I don't understand the question. Is it a...
There's about 100 people in this courtroom, right?
There are people in the courtroom.
Possibly thousands watching.
Okay, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to go back to the beginning because we've just gone on to 230% boost because Christopher DeCoste is a little bit quiet. We've got to hear that bit at the beginning.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Adelson, this is all about you, isn't it?
Excuse me?
This is all about you, right?
I was called to be a witness and I'm testifying, so I don't understand the question. Is it a question?
There's about 100 people in this courtroom, right?
There are people in the courtroom.
Possibly thousands watching, right?
I have no idea who's...
Another thing Wendi Adelson does a lot of, because this is what I'm saying, when Wendi Adelson is called into court, all, apart from Daniel Rashbaum, maybe, yeah, well, certainly, and I'm trying to think, even Jackie Fulford was a little tough on her, difficult questions. just trying to get Donna off. But no, Wendy very rarely has anybody jumping in to help with an objection, and because she's a lawyer, she sort of finds a way to make her own objection, which obviously she cannot do as a witness from the witness stand. But she'll, oh, that calls for a lot of speculation, Your Honor. Sneaky tricks.
This is all about you, right?
I was called to be a witness and I'm testifying, so I don't understand the question. Is it a question?
There's about 100 people in this courtroom, right?
There are people in the courtroom.
Possibly thousands watching, right?
I have no idea who's watching.
And it's all because of your failed marriage.
You see what I mean? There's about 100 people in this courtroom. She doesn't want to answer that, so she says, there are people in the courtroom. The objection would have been what? The legal objection would have been calls for expert testimony. She's not an accountant.
Right?
I disagree with that.
You disagree that your ex-husband is dead because of your family.
Yes, I disagree.
These jurors are here for weeks doing their civic duty because of your marriage, right?
No.
Katie's going through this ordeal because of that marriage, right?
No.
Dan Markel's parents are going through absolute misery because of your failed marriage. Isn't that right?
No.
You know, and I love his use of the floor space. It really helps keep the jury's attention. Great tactic. He uses it beautifully. He uses it like a ballet dancer, just up and down, whatever those moves are called, those great moves. He does them, or maybe ice skating, ice capades. God, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Adelson's on ice. Adelson's on ice. The whole story told on ice. Wow. We've already talked about a movie. Adelson Ice Capades. Now we're talking. You see, anything's a spin-off.
That's incorrect.
Well, let's talk about the marriage. You and Professor Markel, you met when you were in law school. You told that to Miss Cappleman. And it was a whirlwind romance, right? Right?
It was not a whirlwind romance, no.
Yeah.
It led to a wedding, February 26th of 2006. You had a...
No offense to the man, but I've seen pictures of Dan Markel, and I don't think whirlwind romance is in his wheelhouse, particularly.
big wedding in Boca Raton, right?
Did we get married on February 26, 2006? Is that the question? Yes.
In Boca Raton.
In Boca Raton, Florida.
And it wasn't a small wedding, it was a big wedding.
There were many people in attendance.
All right, and this marriage...
Can you imagine Donna Adelson's excitement when she received the wedding invitations and actually saw in print, probably foiled gold leaf print, or whatever you call the shiny one, right? The shiny one. Yeah, like she's a fucking Roman emperor or empress. Yeah. Wendi Adelson married. No, Wendi Adelson, you are invited to the wedding of Mr. and Mrs. Wendi Adelson in Boca Raton. Whoa! How exclusive. Oh, we had to have it in Boca. No, everything's better in Boca.
It led to 2 children, right? Your 2 boys.
Are you asking me if I have 2 boys?
Yes.
Yes.
And Professor Markel, he was a great father, wasn't he?
He was a very good father, yes.
Those boys were his world, right?
As
His
well as
whirlwind.
his work, yes.
Those boys were his whirlwind. Yeah, it's a good job he doesn't mix his metaphors. Like Chris Watts does. He says whirlwind, doesn't he? What does he say? Oh, I got back last night. It's been a ghost town. No. Whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind. I just wanted that knock at the door, rush in, barrel rush me, crack my head open on the floor, I don't care. As long as they're safe. I just want everybody to be safe.
And they adored him too, didn't they?
Absolutely.
Now, this marriage started to fall apart, right?
It did.
But there were problems from the very beginning, weren't there? Right?
Are you asking me, what is the very beginning? The very beginning of when we got married?
Literally at the wedding.
There were problems before we got married.
All right, so
There were problems before we got married. Matter of fact, there was a problem on our first date. He went to the wrong restaurant and I had to wait there, embarrassed, for 40 minutes. Okay, let's go to the comments. Let's say hello, comments. Put those bacon bad boys on screen. Who's all here? What great metrics members have we got today? Become a member. Join the club. No, what is it? Join the Whirlwind. Be a member of the Whirlwind today on metricsmemberships.com. Hey, DJ Miller, how you doing? We got the comments up? Yeah. Winter storm. Hi, metrics, winter in Jersey. Oh no. Yeah. Do you know anything about the Morra Castle? 10 o'clock. Good job. Christina. Boom! Take a moment to hit like. Big thumb like, subscribe to that channel now, subscribe to that big thumb. Good evening all, and hello. Starlit sky, popcorn boom. I'm good. Brian, hello. And Expo 7112, hello. South Dakota. Wow. That's funny because we were just talking about Charlie Adelson, who is also in South Dakota. Michelle, how's it going? So good to see you, Michelle. Michelle's been away. Where's Neverly? Probably out somewhere celebrating her birthday. Everybody go to Discord and wish Neverly a happy birthday. Birthday, Neverly. Birthday, bulletproof moderator. The best fucking queen of comments there is ever. Work on the statue. Statue in what? Not granite. Something elegant. I'm thinking, what is the finest stone we could find? How about Sudanese Arctic marble? I'm ordering a slab tomorrow and hiring someone with a very large collection of chisels. Happy birthday, Neverly.
at the wedding, and the government asked you about kosher at law, right?
About what, I'm sorry?
Keeping kosher,
About keeping kosher, yes.
right?
The government
And your
asked.
wedding, at your wedding, was the groom's family, the Markel family, and they are more strict than your family and friends about keeping kosher.
They do not keep kosher.
Wasn't that one of the problems in your marriage, that Professor Markel was very insistent about keeping kosher?
About his kosher rules, but those are different than his family's.
So you're saying that it wasn't a problem at the wedding, that there were people from the groom's side of the family that were there that strictly...
Fucking hell. You know, the problem is that it had been agreed. I'd be upset if you told me that we were ordering steak or salmon, and then you turned up and said chicken or broccoli. I'd be like, what? We had this agreed. And kosher doesn't even come into it for me. Why would it? But you told me that it would be steak or salmon. Options. Very nice options. Now you show up with chicken and broccoli. As if we're eating at camp.
Keep kosher, that they were told that it was going to be kosher food, but it actually wasn't.
So there was a misunderstanding about whether the food was going to be kosher style or more in adherence with kosher law. There was a miscommunication about that.
There was a miscommunication about what? I mean, there was no miscommunication. There's no such thing as kosher style. You know? That would be ridiculous. What would that even mean? Kosher style, kosher is about restricting certain foods and killing the animal foods in a certain way, right? And that thing about milk and meat, so no cheeseburgers. Practices. There's no kosher style. What would a kosher style cheeseburger be? It would be a burger made of kosher meat with no cheese on it. If you put cheese on it, it's not in the style of kosher. So what are they saying? It would be like a veg. Okay. So it'd be like vegan cheese. So you could have a vegan cheeseburger, beef patty, kosher beef, and a piece of vegan cheese, and that would be kosher style. But it wouldn't be really kosher style because the fact of putting the cheese on there means that it's not imitating what a kosher burger would look like. So it makes no sense. There's no way that, hey, what, he didn't understand? He didn't understand that we meant kosher style? There was a miscommunication, okay.
So you had people that strictly keep kosher eating non-kosher food, which is a big deal.
Yeah, people like the rabbi who, what do you call it? Married them, officiated, I think is the word, officiated. He officiated the wedding, married them, and had to leave early because he was hungry and couldn't eat. I mean, he should be, looked after, most kindly. A guest of honor. We couldn't have had the wedding without him.
That actually is not what happened. Danny was upset that it was kosher style, and
yeah, Danny had to spend his entire wedding running around. How many fucking tables do you think they had? A lot, I bet. Okay, so how many people are on a table? Those big round tables that you have at weddings, what, 10 people? Let's say 8 to be safe, right? 8 people around a table, and I'm guessing that they would have had 30 tables. Right? So how many is that? 30 times 8 is 320. 320 guests. Is that a lot? Who's married? Who's dumb enough to get married in the comments? Let us know. Let us know you made a mistake. How many people were at your day of bliss? Was it 320? How many weddings have I been to? 1, 2, 3 maybe, but that one didn't really count.
not strictly adhering to kosher law. So he was disappointed.
So there's problems right from the beginning.
That was a problem at our wedding, yeah.
Fast forward now to September 10th, 2012. Professor Markel, he's away on a business trip, right?
Yes.
He's in New York City at New York University, right?
I believe so, yes.
And he's doing a...
I believe so. Something York, something new, New York or university, whatever work style kosher things he was doing up there. Where do you think Dan's favorite place to eat in New York was? What's that sandwich shop I always hear about? Where they have the Reuben. Is that kosher? All right, let's check. Let's double check and ask the Googles. Is a Reuben sandwich kosher? Oh my God, you would not believe this. Have a look at this. No way. Wendy, you've changed the earth. You've changed language and what it means, Wendy. AI is taken into account your bullshit. How do we put it on the screen? Can't be having these delays. Can't be having these delays. Everything's got to be set up in advance. But questions come up, don't they? Questions arise and then you have to look them up. A traditional Reuben sandwich is not kosher, although a staple in Jewish-style delicatessens. It violates kosher dietary laws, kashrut, by combining meat, corned beef, and dairy, Swiss cheese. Ah, there you go. In the same sandwich. Why it's not kosher? Jewish law strictly prohibits cooking or consuming meat and dairy together. Kosher style. Many delis that serve Reubens are kosher style, meaning they serve Jewish comfort food, but are not under rabbinical supervision and do not follow strict kashrut laws. Making it kosher. A Reuben can be made kosher by removing the cheese. Well, by not putting it on. I think if the cheese has touched it, then it's mixed, right? You can't have to have different bowls. Even if you wash the bowl, it's not okay. So definitely, you can't just remove the cheese. You have to not put it on in the first place. So this is false. Don't listen to this. Call your rabbi. He'll tell you. A Reuben can be made kosher by removing the cheese. Wrong. Using vegan, non-dairy cheese or using plant-based meat substitutes. So what if you make a plant-based substitute for the meat and put vegan cheese? I used to think this like with bicycles, because if you get a new wheel, it's just a new wheel on the same old bicycle. But then say you replace the other wheel. Then say you replace the forks. Then say handlebars. Then the seat. New mudguards, new frame. There's now not one piece that is part of the original bicycle, even though you never changed bikes. The same with this sandwich.
Presentation.
I don't know what he was doing.
Your husband at the time was in New York to give a presentation. You knew that, right?
I knew he was in New York. I didn't know if he was attending a conference or giving a presentation, but he was in New York for work.
Now, you had not communicated.
I believe he traveled up for kosher-style Reuben Sandwich Day, which happens annually.
With him for 2 days.
I really don't remember.
You text him at around 2:30 in the afternoon, right? Right before he's about to do the presentation.
I really don't remember.
But you do remember dropping the bomb on him, don't you? Telling him that you wanted a divorce.
So I did not drop a bomb on him. We'd been in therapy for several months beforehand where I told him several times I wanted a divorce.
I really want to do some digging around the Wendi Adelson. We've been in therapy for 6 months. Need to get every reference to that down and just see what it tells us, because there's no way they were in marriage counseling. I don't think so. We need to check the evidence.
You say it's not a bomb, but you agree with me that he begged you to reconsider.
He was very upset and, yes, wanted me to reconsider, but
In that phone call, he's begging you to reconsider. Please don't leave. Please don't break up our family, right?
he was very upset, yes.
And he was heartbroken. I mean, upset indicates that there was anger. What he was heartbroken, right?
Wendy, he was running down the road, falling to his knees, arms outstretched, crying, holding a bouquet of flowers, begging you to stay. Upset might be, selling it a little short.
That I decided to divorce him after telling him I would, yes.
Despite being at NYU for a presentation, he rushes home. He gets on the next flight, right?
Yeah, probably to beat me to death, which is why I had to leave covertly and have this all planned out in advance and act like nothing was wrong when he left. Can you imagine? How many weeks? Let's think about it. When she left, she already had the house set up, right? I think. Aqua Ridge. So that takes, you've got to look for the house, and, I'm pretty sure Wendy would have been wanting to look at several, right? Make sure she got the right one. Then you got to do the terms and the agreement and the deposits and whatever all that stuff is, and then the logistics of having moving vans and Donna and Harvey arranging when to come up and how to pack quickly, and all of these things would have been weeks and weeks. And all the time they're living together in the same house, parenting these two young children, and doing whatever it is that they do. And maybe not having a great time, I don't know. Or maybe she was just going around like, yeah, Mr. Bear, cuddle, Mr. Bear, whatever the fuck they were doing, all that. And then just poof, in the dead of night, while he's away in New York. Sudden death, right? Sudden death. Hey, who wants to support the channel on buymeacoffee.com? How about it? We got to raise that, price of admission. We're doing all we can. Raise the price of admission. The price of admission has gone up. It's only going up. It only ever goes up. It's now $7. I'm just kidding. You can support the channel in any way you want, with a friendly smile or a wave from across the room. Hello. Or go to paypal.me/True Crime Metrics, or go to buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrics and support the shit out of this. Support the shit out of this. Keep going. Little more. Push.
Honestly, don't remember if he got on the next flight, but he did come home quickly.
2:30 he finds out in New York. By 11 p.m. he's walking in the door to your old house at Trescott Drive, right?
2:30 he finds out, 11 p.m. he's walking in the door at Trescott, so let's work that out. Is there a direct from New York to Tallahassee, or do you have to go via Atlanta? I'm amazed how few airports fly direct to Tallahassee. 2:30. So let's say he's in New York, in the middle of the city, and he's got to get to what? LaGuardia? or JFK, let's say LaGuardia, or Newark. Maybe he's got to get to Newark. So that's like an hour and a half right there. Then waiting around in the airport, he's not going to, even if there's a flight, yeah, I mean, if that's the time scale, then he definitely dropped everything and rushed home straight away. And he was lucky to make it in time, or not in time, but in that amount of time, because think about it, 2:30 he finds out, let's say it's an hour and a half to the airport, then, okay, so we're now at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then queue up, blah, 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 crap, waiting, line, crap, security crap, everything crap, for a total of, let's be generous and say, 2.5 hours until takeoff. We're now at 6:30. Flying to Atlanta. What would that be? Say 2 hours, 3 hours. We're now at 6:30, 9:30. Change flight, 40 minutes, take off, another hour to Tallahassee. Yeah, I mean, that works out. That would put him at home at around 11 p.m. But he was lucky, or unlucky.
I don't know.
But you do know that when he walks in the house,
Ironically, it would have probably been better for Dan Markel if that plane had just crashed, right? What do you think? What would be on the scales?
Where is the evidence prior to the murder? Where is the evidence? Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence.
Love it. Thanks so much, Michelle, for the 5 cups on buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrics. That's great, Michelle. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Michelle says, always the best channel on on the tubes of you. I see. Thanks for all you do, my friend. My pleasure, Michelle. Thank you for being here with us. We did have a bunch of hair questions the other day in your absence. I don't think I wrote them down. What was that about? I'll see if it comes to me. What was I just about to say? Oh, yeah. Would it have been better for Dan Markel to die in that plane crash than to live on and, suffer what happened anyway with the bullet? And not just like how you die, but all the hassle, all the fucking emotional turmoil and the mind games and the power games and the frustration of dealing with this woman that he would suffer. But on the other hand, he got to spend some time with his children. He got to enjoy the beginning prospects of what seemed that could become a really good relationship for him. Seemed to be going in a positive direction, didn't it? And visits with the family, mom and dad. So you got to weigh those up. Were those pleasures worth the 2.5 years of emotional games with his ex-wife? It's difficult to say, isn't it? And then you have to take into account everything that's happened since then. So it certainly would have been working out well for the Adelsons. She'd have inherited everything right there. I'm surprised she didn't call air traffic control and fuck with the announcements or something.
What he finds, you know that, right?
Yes, I left him the papers.
You left the divorce papers on the bed, right?
Yes.
Half the furniture was gone.
Half the furniture was not gone.
A good amount of his stuff was gone.
Nothing of his was gone.
The boys' stuff was gone, right?
Some of the boys' things were gone. I'd taken enough so that I had for the boys, but no.
You were gone,
I was gone, yes.
and so were his boys.
His boys were not gone. He saw them the next day, and they would not have been awake if he's coming home at 11 p.m.
Let's stay on topic here.
I'd love to stay on topic.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain that Dan Markel would have been hugely relieved to just have opened the door to his boys' bedroom and see their sleeping heads and hear them breathing. Right? Smell them. That would have meant a lot to him right there. The boys were not gone. He saw them the next day, and they would have not have been awake if he didn't even get back until 11 o'clock.
He walks in the door, the boys are not in the house, right?
Correct.
And you did not tell Professor Markel where you were taking the boys. He may have seen them the next day, but you did not let him know where you were going to be staying with his boys.
With our boys? Yes.
So you agree with me that they're also his.
Of course they're his.
And he should be entitled to know where his wife is taking his children.
Absolutely.
That's not all you took, is it?
Excuse me?
You two had a joint checking account at Schwab, right?
We did.
And you went into that account before you dropped the bomb, and you took out half of that account, right?
Correct.
Roughly $350,000.
Half, yes. Of our joint account.
$350,000.
I don't remember the amount, but yes.
You know that it was in the hundreds of thousands.
I really don't remember the amount, sir.
Is it that insignificant of a sum to you that you
I'm
don't
not saying
remember?
it's an insignificant sum. I'm saying I can't attest to the amount that was there.
I'm going to tone it down now. You were unhappy in the marriage, right?
That's why I got divorced, yes.
And it happens. Marriages fall apart, right?
Yes.
But you complained constantly about it, didn't you?
No, I don't think I complained constantly.
To anyone that would listen.
No, that's not true.
You agree with me that you complained to the one person that would actually do something about it.
I don't understand what you're asking.
Your big brother, Charles Adelson, you complained to him about how bad Professor Markel was and how much you hated him and didn't want to be in a marriage with him.
I definitely talked to my brother about how unhappy I was in my marriage. If that's the question, then yes. Is that the question?
Yes, that is a question. You talked to your brother, Charles Adelson, about how bad your marriage was.
I did, yes.
Let's talk about it. Government asked you about Charles Adelson. He's an intelligent guy, right?
He is smart.
Yeah. He's both book smart and street smart, right?
I would say so.
You would say that he's a talker.
He does like to talk.
He's got the gift of gab, so to speak.
I wouldn't say he's the gift of gab, but he does talk.
He knows what to say in the moment.
I wouldn't say that's true either.
You would say, though, that he is. Now, you were asked questions about, drug purchasing and stuff like that. You'd agree with me that he's also street smart.
I mean, I think he has common sense.
And that he...
Common sense? What, like tie your own shoelaces common sense? I bet he rarely did that. Like, even if it's dress shoes, I bet they're, slip-ons. What do you call it? Loafers.
lives life to a certain extent on both sides of the track. During the day, he's doing periodontal work, whatever that is, crowns, root canals, whatever that is. He's doing that during the day. At night, he's out with friends, he's buying drugs. He's living life on both sides of the track.
I don't know about that he's out buying drugs.
Out buying drugs. Well, he's certainly talking about all those steroids on the phone, isn't he?
Now, let's talk for a second about WhatsApp. And as an aside here for a second, the government asked you the question if you used WhatsApp, right? You remember that?
I remember them asking me, yes.
On the day that Professor Markel was killed, you went in for the interview, right?
I talked to the police.
And you also gave them your phone for them to inspect.
Absolutely.
All right. So the determination of what, if any, WhatsApp was being used, they would have from the download they did that day of your phone.
Sure.
Now, would you be surprised to learn that your brother used WhatsApp?
No.
You would agree with me that WhatsApp, and you explained it well, is end-to-end encryption.
Correct.
In your lay opinion, if you can explain to the jurors, just in case they don't know, what that means.
I know that it's something we use at my work because essentially it has the ability to keep things more private. I also know that nothing's actually private and that anyone who wants to can uncode the messages. So that's what we tell people at our work.
So the thought is with WhatsApp, if I use my phone and I call somebody, the call could be listened to. If I text somebody, it's recordable, right?
I think so.
But with WhatsApp, you can send messages or have phone calls where there's no record of it.
I don't think that's true. I think there is still a record of it.
But the belief and the thought, I'll withdraw that question. Your lay understanding, though, is that the footprint that it leaves is much less than that of normal communications.
I think it's different, but I think it still leaves a digital footprint that's easily uncodable.
If you were to send a WhatsApp message to Ms. Cappleman, it would show that a message was sent, but it would be hard to get what the content of the message is.
I don't think that's true.
All right.
Okay. So there's a video here called let's have a look at this. Yeah, let's see who wins that battle. But was it personal privacy versus national security? I think we've seen that before. Yeah. So all we need is that key then. Wendi Adelson's private key. But it's been so long ago now. Plus the key updates regularly. All the time it's updating. So it just changes. But you really think that the fucking government don't have that already? I think the debate there is more a case of, do we need to tell the public that we have access? Oh. Yeah. But even with the access, I don't believe that Wendi Adelson ever sent a text that would mean anything. Never said anything, If you had a recording of everything Wendi Adelson had said in the last 20 years, nothing about a murder plot would come up in terms of the planning or whatever. She never said anything. So how do they get her? All on the circumstantial? Drive down Trescott, foreshadowing in the book, gotta be back in Tallahassee, can't go and see Jeff's parents, bringing Jane into the thing, going away with Jeff, jealous Jeff, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it is a lot, but is it enough? Is it enough for any jury? Because some jurors really, it's a mix, isn't it? They're on the side of protecting the Constitution as it would be seen from the perspective of the defense table, right? They make a point. We saw that in some other trial. What was that? I forget. Proceed.
Let's talk about your brother's jokes now. You don't deny that he joked about hiring a hitman.
He did.
You don't deny that he repeated this joke.
He did.
And he made this joke right before a hitman murdered Professor Markel.
I don't know that to be true.
Okay. He made the joke right before, and I'll leave
Nice
out
try,
the hitman
Chris.
part. Professor Markel was killed.
He made the joke the morning that I talked to him.
Can you think of one person in this world that would actually hire two people to go kill Professor Markel other than your family?
Your Honor.
Ms. Adelson, please answer. Please address me and answer the
I'd love to. It
question.
calls for an unbelievable.
There you go. I've never seen a witness turn to the judge and say, I cannot even, Judge. Can you do something, Judge? Tell him to straighten up, Judge. Instruct the lawyer.
Amount of speculation. I mean, I'm responsible for coming up with. That's the prosecutor's duty, no, to figure out who's responsible.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah. It's not my fucking job. It's just my ex-husband and father of my kids, but fucking hell, I got shit to do. I got places to be, so can we wrap it up? Yeah. Tell the prosecutor to call me when it's done.
Said a moment ago that you disagree that hitman killed Professor Markel. That's what you said, right? So my question to you is, if you're able to say, well, it wasn't hitman, then who? Tell this jury. Who on this planet would have wanted to kill Professor Markel?
I have no idea.
All right. Let's get into that a little bit.
Let's freeze frame that.
It wasn't hitman. Then who? Tell this jury. Who on this planet would have wanted to kill Professor Markel?
I have no idea.
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. Maybe a student, maybe Danny gave a student a bad grade and the student came after him. Because I saw that on TV. It's a real thing that happens. A B minus. He gave me a B minus. Where does he live? Where's my gun?
All right. Let's get into that a little bit. But I want to make sure that's clear. This joke is made right before Professor Markel is murdered, right?
The joke was made many times.
It was made right before Professor Markel was murdered. Yes or no?
Yes.
July 18, 2014, you're interviewed, and you make a statement saying, I knew this would happen. You said that, right?
I did.
All right. Now I want to talk about your knowledge and your belief on this. You're a smart person, right?
How am I supposed to answer that?
Well, let's go through your resume. You went to Brandeis University, right?
I did.
You graduated magna cum laude.
I did.
If you could explain to the jury what that means.
It means I studied a lot and got good grades.
All right. It means, and to speak, I'm from the Northeast. My Boston accent may give it away. It means you're wicked smart, right?
That's very
You had a
nice.
high
Thank
GPA,
you.
a very high GPA.
I work hard.
You also went and you got a master's degree from the University of Cambridge.
I did.
You were a Gates Scholar.
I was.
You then go to the University of Miami School of Law, which is a top-tier law school, Tier 1, right?
Okay.
Right? We're talking about your level of intelligence. You went to the University of Miami Law School, right?
I did, yes.
You also clerked at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, right?
I did.
Now, to get a clerkship out of law school, it's a very difficult thing to do, right?
It's challenging.
You have to have top grades. You have to go through a rigorous selection process.
Now, to get a clerkship out of law school is a very difficult thing to do, right? You have to have top grades. And you have to go through a rigorous selection process. He's brilliant, isn't he? Just his pace, his tone, everything. Wonderful. Wonderful law. I really want to see him in something else. Is he still alive? I saw a picture of him where he's all cancer.
Right?
Yes.
You then become a professor at the Florida State University College of Law, right?
Yes.
You're also a published author. Right?
Now you're just embarrassing me.
So you couldn't work out whether your brother killed your husband? To get a clerkship out of law school is a very difficult procedure. You have to have top grades. You have to go through a rigorous selection process. I love that. It's too long to put on a mug. Too long. Maybe a hoodie.
Why are you embarrassed that you're a published author?
I don't like talking about myself.
Is it because the book that you wrote discredited?
Oh, yeah? Well, you haven't told the whole fucking room that you speak Spanish yet, this hour. Hey, Wendy, you haven't told us that you speak Spanish this hour. Remind us, Wendy, we might forget.
Tallahassee and spoke ill of it?
The book did not discredit Tallahassee. It wasn't about Tallahassee.
Let's stay on topic and ask.
It was about Hiawassee in the Panhandle. Yeah. And the character that was me wasn't called Wendy, it was called Lily. A funeral flower.
Ask a question again with everything that we just went through. You're a smart woman, right?
I am a smart woman.
There's information about this case everywhere. You'd agree with me on that, right?
I'd been advised by my lawyer not to read it.
All right. Now,
Oh yeah? Well, your lawyer sent me a letter, honey. Oh, we gotta revisit that. I'm waiting for my next one.
we're not talking about reading stuff. There's podcasts,
Also not to listen.
TV shows,
Also not to watch.
articles.
Don't read.
Don't read. Don't read. Can't read. Miss Adelson.
So you've made the decision. Now you're a lawyer yourself too, right?
I am.
And you made the decision. I'm not going to look at any of this stuff.
Correct.
I don't want to know what happened to the father of my 2 children.
Not I don't want to know what happened.
How can you say you love those boys if you don't care who killed the father that they loved?
Of course I care who killed the father that they loved.
Then why won't you look at the stuff?
I've been advised not to.
Are you afraid that when you look at it,
Hey, people in the chat, is the volume too loud on the video? Does it need to be less? Because it looks very red on the thing there.
you're going to realize that your brother did this?
I am not afraid of that.
Now, of course, you've, and we won't get into privileged communications, but you've spoken to your lawyer about the case.
How are we not getting into privileged communications? Yes, I've spoken to my lawyer about the case.
You're very intelligent. You have one of the top defense attorneys in the country, a former federal.
Okay, Christina, thank you. I think it's fine. All right. Is it optimal? Is it absolutely the best it could be? Don't be shy about telling me. I mean, I'm not saying you are, but there's no need to be. Because it's no trouble to me. It's just boost.
Prosecutor John Lohr, right there in the blue suit, right?
He is my attorney.
You're telling me with all of this at your disposal, your intelligence, his experience, and all this information, that you don't care to find out who it is that killed Professor Markel?
This is not that I don't care to find out. My job is to take care of those boys, and that is what I do. I don't see how it helps take care of them to go reading and watching and soaking up all of the
Optimum. It's not optimum. Well, how do we... Does it need to be less? I'll bring it down. I can bring it way down. So low. So low. We'll go to 155.
horrible information that's out there.
You don't realize that you could be helpful in finally untangling this to give this jury the truth about what happened to Professor Markel?
I have been nothing but helpful since this started.
To what happened to their...
You don't think you could be helpful in giving this jury the truth about what happened to Professor Markel? Brilliant. Brilliant. You know, I think this is the point. This is the point. Remember, the point. The point where Wendy had lost all chance at people having ambiguity about her culpability, her foreknowledge, her willingness, her concession, and participation. knowing participation, even though she never spoke a word and was never told a word. It was done with looks in the eyes and slow gestures. You're going to need to take that TV appointment. It's going to be very important for you to get that TV fixed on July 18th. I'll get the guy from Best Buy to come over. Make sure you're home. And don't go out of town that day. Do not go out of town that day.
Son, by you looking at it, you are at the center of all this, but you won't look at anything to help in the process.
I've done that.
Do you see what I mean? Those were the conversations. Those were the conversations, not... There was no conversation, hey, Wendy, you know the murder that we're planning? We're gonna set up this TV thing, and that's gonna be like the code. So we're gonna get the code to you got to be at home on murder day. We're doing the murder 18th, so make sure you're at home. No, none of that ever happened. Which is why she's so confident being out and about. Yeah, it was all done. Hey, it's very important you get this TV fixed. But it creates her foreknowledge and complicity. But how is that proven? How can that be proven? Difficult. And to be honest, unless Charlie or Donna fuck her over, I don't think they're anywhere close to having this tied off. It would be a high-pressure trial for sure, without something to seal it off. Katie McBanower doesn't know anything. Oh, last-minute planning at the beach? No, I'm sick of hearing people talk about that. That's just no. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, Father's Day. Father's Day they were at the beach. Katie and Wendy were at the beach and they were making a plan. No. No. You know, go and do more research, please. Yeah. How do you get it? Without Charlie or Donna coming forward? Obviously Harvey's not going to come forward. And here's the question. What is the state waiting for? That's the question that's always being asked, right? That's the question that's always being asked. They say, oh, are they gathering no evidence? No. Oh, well, maybe she's being protected. Yeah, maybe. But couldn't it be as simple as, you know, a prosecutor's office has a record of how long it takes for a co-defendant who's already facing life in prison to flip. Right? There'll be statistics about the process someone goes through, right? To get to that point where they go from co-defendant standing up for their friend who's not been arrested to flipping on them a few years down the line when their appeals are exhausted, when they're being fucked with in jail, when they've not got anyone looking out for them on the outside, and so on, you know? There's a statistic that the prosecutor's office would have, the Department of Justice would have, that says, science tells us, and statistics tell us, over time that the average turnaround to get a co-defendant to turn is 4.6 years, or whatever it is. Probably is about that much. Could they be waiting for that? And could they be doing things now? Think about it. If the prosecutor wants Charlie to flip, they don't go to him right away and say, hey, so do you want to make a deal? Because if you flip, we could get you in a prison that's got like, better reputation. The food is like 2 degrees better than the average shit that they have anywhere. But yeah, it's about the only card that you have. So do you want it or not? No. They would do things to break him down over time. Send him to South Dakota. Yeah, you want to be in a family near your dad so he can visit before he dies, which could be any day now. That's going to be an emotional moment for Charlie, right? Those triggers. Your dad's ill. We'll let you to the funeral if you tell us about Wendy. I'm not saying they'd do that, but, they might take advantage of that naturally emotional moment in Charlie's life. My dad is on his deathbed. That's a moment of change, right? So the delay in Wendy's arrest, without Charlie or Donna's cooperation, I don't think that they've actually got that much on Wendy. I'm not hopeful for any WhatsApp messages that, I don't think she ever said the word murder. At all. So at the moment, you'd be relying on circumstantial evidence and speculation about what that means. And yes, there's a cluster. But it's probably the easiest, well, it's certainly the easiest case in this murder so far, out of all of the others, for a defense attorney to get up here and say, yeah, look, they're connecting the dots to make any picture they want to see. The mother and brother took it down. The family's got it. The Markel family's got it in for Wendy. Of course they do. Ex-wife. Anyone here got a ex-son-in-law or daughter-in-law? Is it tough? They'd find a way. They'd find a way to poke so many holes in that. It's not strong enough. But if they have the statistics and they say, hey, look, I think Charlie's not going to talk to us now, but he might do in another year. Let's regroup then. Because it's not gathering new evidence. They've had long enough. But in some ways it is gathering evidence, because if they could get Charlie's testimony against Wendy, then we're on, right? Then we're on. That's it.
Nothing but help in this process.
You came here and testified.
I came here and testified. I spoke to the police for 6 hours without anyone present. I signed over my cell phone, my car, my house, everything, my computer. What else do I have or know that you haven't seen?
You came here because you were subpoenaed and had no choice. Correct. Right?
This is not fun. I would not do this by choice.
You've been inconvenienced.
I've not been inconvenienced.
You look like you've been inconvenienced quite badly. You look very frustrated. I mean, look at you there. You'll screenshot that. Googly eyes. My God, look at her. Vicious, isn't it? What is going on with the expression? It's a smile, but it's a hate smile, isn't it? You can tell by those eyes and all the hate that's in them.
Professor Markel was shot in the head.
I'm not complaining about being here. This is my duty. I'm here.
We'll get back to you complaining about being here. Do you honestly expect this jury to believe that you haven't confronted...
We'll get back to you complaining about being here. It'd be so great if he pulled out a tape recording then and she's just on the phone with someone going, I hate being here. I'm so inconvenienced by this and I hate it. It's a waste of my fucking time and I hate Tallahassee and I only did this stupid murder so I could get to South Florida and now I have to come and testify.
Did your brother about all of this?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you did confront him?
Yes, I do expect them to believe that I did not confront my brother because I didn't.
Or maybe you don't need to because you know the truth in this case. You already know it. That he went behind your back, right?
Did not happen.
Just like he has done with past boyfriends. He's done that in the past where he's gone behind your back when you were having problems in a relationship and dealt with it himself.
No.
Miss Adelson, you understand that until you expose your brother what he did, that everybody's going to consider you as guilty. You understand that, right?
What is the question that you're asking me?
You understand that until you expose your brother and explain what he did, that he went behind everybody's back, that he hired a hitman to murder your ex-husband, you'll remain guilty in the eyes of the world.
I can't speak to the eyes of the world. I can only know that I have done nothing wrong.
Or maybe you are guilty.
I am not guilty.
So...
Well, maybe you are guilty.
A witness in this case, and I'm not going to get into their testimony, but one of the hitmen, the convicted hitman, implicates you. On July 17, 2014, the day before the murder, the morning before, he says that you were walking on Trescott with the two boys, that you walked down the driveway and into the house.
That never happened.
Right, because Professor Markel, he had the kids. Based on the way that your guy's schedule was, on that day he would have had the children in the morning, and you're going through such a bad divorce you wouldn't be at his house, right?
I wouldn't be at his house anyway, but not because we were going through a bad divorce. At that time, things were pretty copacetic.
All right, so we're coming back to maybe you do know, or maybe you were involved.
Excuse me? What's the question that you're asking me?
I'm giving you a header of what we're talking about so that it will ease you in the question, okay? I'm just telling you what the topic that we're on, so we'll get to a question. Now, the government asked you about a time that you met Miss Magbanua. It was actually spring break of March 2014, right?
I believe so.
You went down to Miami. You stayed with your brother Charles.
I went down to Fort Lauderdale after being in Immokalee and stayed with my brother.
You then went to Miami Beach to Yardbird and had dinner outside with your boyfriend at the time, or who you were dating, Jeffrey Lacasse. Catherine McBanwell was there, and your brother Charles Adelson, and you all ate outside, right?
We did.
And that's on Miami Beach, not in Fort Lauderdale.
Correct.
Now, just for context, Jeffrey Lacasse, he was also an FSU professor, not at the law school, but an FSU professor. Nice guy, right?
I don't think so now.
Now, you deny, I'm assuming, that on July 13, 2014, you told Jeffrey Lacasse that Charles looked into hiring a hitman. You deny that, or you admit that?
I deny that.
And that you told him that Charles looked into hiring a hitman back in September of 2013.
That never happened.
Which would have been months before your brother even met Catherine McBanwell.
I don't remember when they met.
Letting you know the topic we're on, we're talking about you being involved. That same week, earlier in the week, you sent an email. We're talking about the week of the murder now, not spring break, the week of the murder, not Yardbird, the week of the murder. You sent an email to Jeffrey Lacasse saying that you wanted to break up, that you needed space, right?
I did.
Sent him a long email. Stay away. We're broken up. Right?
I did.
You knew that on July 18, 2014, Jeffrey Lacasse was leaving town to go on a trip, right?
I knew he was leaving at some point that week. I don't remember when.
you knew that he was leaving on the same day of the murder at the same exact time as the murder.
I don't think I did.
11 a.m. on July 18, 2014.
I don't think I knew when he was leaving town.
It's a good way to put the blame onto somebody else. You'd agree on that, right?
I-
If it happened, it would have been a good way to put the blame on somebody else.
I have no idea when he was going to leave town.
Your interview, July 18, 2014, you said, my brother, he joked about hiring a hitman. Perhaps that was you just planting a seed to divert the attention of law enforcement away from you.
It was not.
Let's jump off topic right now and talk about your boys' names. That in the time after the murder, you changed their last names from Markel to Adelson, right?
A year later, yes.
Why?
I was scared
Of what?
of someone coming to attack them.
So it's a year later, you won't look at anything because you don't want to know what's going on in the case. And the thought is, well, they're going to be protected if they have my last name and not Markel, right?
Yes.
Now, years later, arrests are made. It's clear who committed the murder, Sigfredo Garcia, Luis Rivera. The Adelson name has been dragged through the mud. Why haven't you continued to protect your boys and changed the name back?
I will be changing I'm not going to change the name back. I don't think that will help. One day I'll change all of our names.
The government asked you about immunity, so let's get into that. You explained that as an attorney, you understand that when the government gives a subpoena for somebody to testify, that it conveys immunity, right?
That's my understanding. My knowledge of criminal law dates back to 2003 when I took a semester in law school. So forgive me.
Graduated law school, right?
This isn't my area of law.
When you clerked on the 11th Circuit, it was with Judge Jordan, right?
I did immigration appeals.
Yeah, but you still dealt with criminal stuff as well, too.
Very little.
So your understanding, though, is it doesn't mean they can't arrest you. They just can't use what you say here against you later on. So you're protected.
Correct.
And you needed that to testify, right?
It's just given to testify. It's not a question of whether I needed it. It comes with testifying.
You fear being charged by them, so you need to have that protection of
I
your
don't
words.
fear being charged for a crime I didn't commit, no.
Now, y'all had this nice exchange where it was pleasant, but there's
I don't fear being charged for a crime I didn't commit. And she makes that statement at a point in time after her brother has been arrested for the murder of Dan Markel.
actually tension between you and this office, right?
No,
They recently had your brother Charles Adelson arrested, and he's in custody, right?
correct,
For first-degree murder.
correct.
And there's no tension?
It's very uncomfortable to be here. It's hard to tell where the tension is coming from.
They've discussed your involvement in this case. They insinuate
Well, in some ways, Wendy, the tension is coming from your past actions.
it on the direct examination. There's no tension?
Lots of media insinuates that I did something I didn't do too. I can't feel tension towards every person in the world.
That's funny. I thought you didn't look at anything.
I don't, that's why.
Which is ironic, because I bet you one thing, that Wendi Adelson does feel tension with everybody in the world, right? It's her resting state. High tension. Look at her now. Fucking maniac. Like, what goes on in that head of hers? Seriously. When she wakes up in the morning and decides what she's going to do that day, how does that go? She's got a routine, right? So what is that routine?
But you know that you know about the media, but you don't know about the media?
I know about the media because it keeps me from employment. It keeps me from lots of things in my life. I'm aware of what's there, but I don't I don't read the minutia so I can sleep at night.
Ms. Adelson, 5 minutes ago you said you don't look at any of that stuff.
I
Now I
don't
asked you a
look at
question.
it.
Let me finish.
Sure.
5 minutes ago you say you don't look at any of that stuff. Now I ask you a question, you say you look at stuff.
That's not actually what I said. I said I'm aware that it exists, but I don't read it. I don't listen to it.
Then how do you know that they're bashing you?
You just told me they are.
I did?
Yeah.
How about this? We'll come back to it. You can think up a better answer, okay?
I'm not thinking up an answer. I'm telling you the truth. I'm sorry if you don't want to listen to it.
Your basic understanding of criminal law, though, you know that if the defense gives you a subpoena, you get no immunity.
Correct.
Objection, improper question.
I'm not going beyond that question.
All right, that's the only question you can ask on that.
If I give you a subpoena, you don't get immunity, right?
Correct.
Now, let's talk about your parents. The government asked you about your mother and father, Donna and Harvey, right? The government could do the same and subpoena them so that this jury can watch them get questioned, not nicely how Ms. Cappleman questioned you, but to be cross-examined by me.
Objection, improper question.
I'm going to sustain that. Ask a different question.
Are your parents here in Tallahassee right now?
No.
Are they back in Miami?
Yes.
Do they have any plans of coming here this week or next?
I don't think so.
Now, your family dynamic. It is your mother and father, Harvey and Donna. There's you, you're the youngest, Charles, and then the oldest, Robert. Right?
Correct.
And he's a doctor up in New York.
Correct.
Now, the government asked you about the relationship, and you're like, we don't talk much. It's actually much deeper than that with Robert, isn't it?
We don't talk
At all.
at all.
And the reason is because your parents were so difficult about the woman that is now his wife.
That is not the reason why we don't talk.
I'm not talking about the reason why you don't talk. Let me clarify it. The reason why your parents don't talk to him.
That's not the reason why they don't talk with him.
Are you saying to this jury that there wasn't a problem where they outright objected to his marriage of a woman that was not of the Jewish faith?
That was initially what happened, and then there was actually a beautiful reconciliation, and they're very happy about the marriage.
Robert and his wife, not your family.
Yeah, and we're all going over for the wedding in Mumbai. Yeah, it's going to be great. You ever seen an Indian wedding? It's fantastic.
Robert and his wife and our family were very happy about Robert's marriage.
So what happens is that Robert is in love with a woman. Your parents object. He breaks up with her and then dates a Jewish woman, right?
And then they got married and divorced, and then he got back together with the person he wanted to be married to. Yes.
With his true love.
Yes.
But there was a lot of tension in your family because of your family's involvement in the kids' marriages, right?
Yes.
Let's talk briefly about your children. The government had asked you in the topic of the Jewish faith, keeping kosher. You mentioned a bat mitzvah at one point in time. You're currently planning a bat mitzvah for your oldest, right?
No, it already happened.
Okay, now that is a very, Christopher, I'm obviously not Jewish, but my understanding.
Well, that already happened, did it? Because I thought it went like this. I thought that you were going to have it and you invited the Markells, but then Charlie got arrested, so you called the Markells and said, due to Charlie's arrest, we've cancelled the bar mitzvah and we'll let you know when it's booked again. But then they had it anyway. Yeah, nice way to uninvite the grandparents.
Understanding is that it is a very, very important thing in the Jewish faith.
It's a very important milestone.
And for those that are very
Yeah, it would have meant a lot to them, especially as with Dan gone and all. Yeah, they would have loved to have been there, but unfortunately, that was a little, twist of the blade on purpose because she's annoyed that Charlie got arrested, or maybe she wasn't. If she wanted him to get arrested, she certainly, No, I retract that because it's my opinion that she just wanted Charlie to go and fucking do life in prison anyway. It's the perfect solution for her. And in a lot of ways, it aids her. The fact that they have gotten that close to home base, to Wendi Adelson, the final boss of this story. The final boss of this story hasn't been caught, but the fact that the two immediately below her, Charlie and Donna, have been caught, convicted, life in jail, in many ways actually aids Wendy's defense and non-arrest. It doesn't hurt her. And I think she knew that from day one. My family are not, no one is more angry at Danny than my family, you know. Oh, Charlie, the one who's Charlie, he drives a police car. He's a blues brother. Yeah, no reason to mention him other than the, what was it? The best way to protect myself is to not protect them. You know, they went into this as a group, but from as soon as the shot was fired, I was trying to find a way to say that didn't include a firearm, but there isn't one. But I meant figuratively at the beginning of the race. As soon as the shot was fired, she cut loose, right? Went solo, went rogue. The best way to protect myself is to not protect them.
Conservative in the Jewish faith, those that keep kosher, so to speak, it's even bigger.
I don't know that it's more important to one segment of Judaism over another, but it's an important coming of age ceremony.
It's where a boy becomes a man.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't think there's a correlation there? I mean, you're not practicing Judaism, are you, Wendy? I mean, at all. In any way. I mean, you observe the rites of passage because, I don't know, that's a cultural thing. And perhaps you could say kosher is a cultural thing as well. But I think eating kosher is, basically I think you can do the bar mitzvahs and stuff and live a secular lifestyle, and that's observing the culture. But I think going down a kosher diet, isn't that part of the virtue of doing that is that it's the dedication to one's faith, a principle. I mean, it seems different than a once-in-a-lifetime event that's like a big birthday, as far as I understand.
Did you invite Dan Markel's parents, the kids' grandparents?
I did.
You invited them?
I invited them, yes.
When was the last time they saw face-to-face their grandchildren?
April 20th,
Of this year?
just now.
And you agree with me that it had been years.
Yeah, I've developed a habit of anytime I have to come to court, booking in a trip with the Markells, so I can say, no, going well, beautiful reconciliation, and we're currently in negotiations about setting up a regular meet, which will be held on the 1st of never.
Since 2016, since the last time they had seen them.
The visit stopped when they threatened to put my children in foster care, yes, but up until that point they did have visits.
But you got no problem letting them see your brother Charles, right?
I'm sorry?
You have no problem letting them...
Wouldn't even be a tangible threat. 2 elderly Canadians come down and say, I'm going to put your child in foster care. Okay, well, I'm their mother, and I have mother's rights, so you don't get to do shit, or I call the cops. It's like they threatened to throw my children in foster care, in a dungeon, in an old dungeon in London. The London dungeon. They threatened to throw my children in the London dungeon, and I was not having that.
Hang out with your brother Charles, who's now sitting in custody for first-degree murder.
Well, they can't see him now, can they?
No, they can't, but I'll ask the questions.
Oh, I'm sure you could take them in and hold them up to the glass. Maybe he could touch the glass on the other side, like the hand thing people do, or the heart, and it'll be like he's rubbing the baby's belly. Oh. Imagine being the cleaner in the prison. Every day you have to come in and wipe the baby marks off the window. Looks like we had another baby up against this glass. We got any Lysol?
For years, they weren't able to see their grandchildren despite their pleading to you to see them. But you let them, let me finish, but you let them hang out with your murdering brother, right?
The children were permitted to see their grandparents. I cooked for them. We had play dates. They had sleepovers. When a letter surfaced that they were trying to have my children placed in foster care, the visits stopped. My brother never threatened to put my children in foster care, and if he had, the visits would have stopped with him too.
You say you love your boys.
I do say I love my children.
Don't care about the father that they loved. What
I
happened?
never said that I don't care about the father that they
Then
love.
look at some of the discovery and help figure it out.
Excuse me?
Then look at some of the evidence and help figure.
Actually, I remember Jeff Lacasse saying in his interview that she was in the memorial making jokes about how thank God it was Danny that got his head blown off and not someone that she actually cared about. Something to that effect. I never said I didn't care about the father that they loved. I said that I'm glad it was him that got his head blown off and not somebody I actually did care about, which is different, Mr. DeCost. Your Honor, correct that lawyer.
Figure it out so that more lives aren't ruined by this.
I seem to not
Mr. DeCost,
understand.
you need to ask a question now. You're making statements now. You need to ask a question.
Understood, Your Honor. If I could have one brief second to check with co-counsel. Ms. Adelson, we started this by saying that this is all about you. It started with you because of this marriage, right?
No. Well, you had tried to say that, but I don't agree.
Ms. Adelson, I'm going to make one final attempt through questions to implore you. You understand that you can't protect your brother Charles, who's going through this case, and protect yourself at the same time. You understand that, right?
She does understand that, and she's okay with that, because in her interview, she brought him up on page 25 of a 6-hour interview, or more. Charlie, the one I'm really close with, the one who drives a police car, he makes a lot of jokes and bad taste, and he said, I bought you this TV, I was gonna get you a hitman, but TV was cheaper, so I bought you this TV. It was my divorce present. That's a horrible thing to say.
I'm here to share the truth with you. I don't know how to answer the question.
Then please end the madness and share the truth. Will you please share the truth?
End the madness. I think that's going to be the title of our next video on the John LaRoe letter series. Look out for that on our channel page. Yeah, if you didn't know that, we got a letter from John LaRoe saying, oh, we represent Wendi Adelson, she wants you to take all these videos down, blah, 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 blah. Something to those effect. In my opinion, apparently, allegedly, whatever. Legal. Can we call legal? Yeah, follow us. Twitter. Follow Twitter. Follow YouTube's. Subscribe, like, and support the shit out of this on buymeacoffee.com/true crime metrics, paypal.me/true crime metrics. Support, support, support.
With this jury.
I've been sharing the truth since I walked in here. I've done nothing but share the truth.
You know what happened here, despite your claims to the jury that you haven't looked at anything, you haven't discussed with anybody, and you haven't confronted your brother. You know what happened here, right?
I do not know what happened here, and if I did, I would have shared it with the police 8 years ago.
you know that your brother went behind your back, don't you?
I do not.
Like he always does. This is something that he has always done, isn't it?
It is not.
You found
Yeah.
out.
I don't believe it is, but I see why DeCost is doing that. I mean, it's not, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and we could do a whole other video on what DeCost is actually doing here, because as we see, sorry for the cough, as we see from this moment when you say this is something he's done before, he went behind your back, he was leading this double life, he was a dentist doing crowns, root canals, whatever that is, and then by night he was out on the street, other side of the tracks, buying drugs, Cuban neighborhood, you know, he's in there slamming Charlie, right? Wendy's collateral damage. He's using the opportunity to go Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. It's the main part of his defense. But who for? Catherine McBanawa. Which, you know, the state is saying, yes, it was Charlie. And Charlie got Katie to do this. You know, so does it help his clients? Or is it helping the Adelsons? I've always wondered whether Christopher DeCoste and Tara Kawas were in here actually representing the Adelsons. And the thinking goes like this. Chris DeCoste is in here throwing shit at Charlie. Now, if his plan works as it is on face value, the jury believe that Charlie did this and that he blamed Katie McBanawa, or she got caught in the crossfire. And it doesn't matter. Say Katie gets off. That protects Charlie, because the state has been ruled that their case against Charlie, the state's case against Charlie, which was be to say he got Katie to do this and this, and then his defense team could say, oh, they thought about that about Katie? Well, they were wrong. Just like they're wrong with my client. The state gets it wrong sometimes, Tallahassee. You know? It would be helpful, wouldn't it? And then, if it doesn't work, and Katie goes down, Katie's case has gone down. Katie's case has been shown to be full of shit. What was Katie's case? Well, very much that Charlie did this, right? So that pushed opinion, when it's in the middle of the defense's case that has not succeeded, kind of gets painted with the same load of shit brush, right? It's quite clever. It's like a Trojan horse. You see what I mean? If they make a big case, yeah, Charlie did this. He was out on the double life buying drugs, Cuban neighborhood, and their case doesn't work, then that opinion that they were so vocal about is kind of mixed in with this case that was all lies, right? The defendant went down. So it still protects Charlie somehow. Maybe. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Out after that your brother had done this and gone behind your back. That's why you were thrown up at that dinner, right?
No, it's not.
You know that it didn't involve Katie either, right?
I don't know anything about...
If you're not going to say all of that and finally give the truth, why don't you just admit to this jury that you're guilty?
Because I'm not guilty.
A brief moment, Your Honor. I got nothing further to add.
Redirect.
That's like 10 rounds, huh? Or at least 3. You have an hour of Georgia Cappleman, then Christopher DeCost gets up here and just paints the wall with you in front of a crowd. And then, when he's done, Georgia Cappleman's back up for redirects, but it's not going to last long.
So listen, you were asked about the reason why you stopped contact for a period of time between your ex-husband's parents and your children.
Yes.
And you referenced a letter that you characterized as the grandparents threatening to put the children into foster care. Is that an email that was sent from the Markells to my office?
Yes.
Okay. And that was in reference to, in the event that you and the people that care for these children, who at the time were very young, were arrested, that the grandparents wanted to make sure, because they live in Canada, right?
They do.
They wanted to make sure that a specific organization could be contacted to care for the children, so that someone was there to care for them until a relative could get there.
I don't
Right?
remember the bit about a relative getting there.
Okay, well, they weren't just going to leave them in foster care, right?
I don't know.
Okay. But the specific nature of the email, you will agree, was in the event that there's some kind of mass arrest, because they don't know who's getting ready to go to jail next, right? I mean, they're not privy to the investigation any more than you are, right? Law enforcement investigations, they're secret.
Sure.
Okay. And their concern, would you agree the concern ultimately in the email was for the care of the children?
The concern was to make sure the children were under good care, but as their mother, I know they're always under good care with me,
Right, but
and there's no
the
need for foster
email
care.
contemplated you not being available to care for them.
That's not possible.
Because it's not possible for you to get arrested.
Correct, because I've done nothing wrong and I believe in our justice system.
Okay. Well, just wanted to clarify the nature of that. In this case, you were asked about, why aren't your parents coming to testify? You, as you mentioned, gave a police interview in this case, right?
Correct.
And
See, even now, she's edging towards a suggestion that Charlie's culpable. I do not fear being arrested because I have done nothing wrong and I believe in our justice system. Well, for those things to be true, she believes that her brother's arrest is legitimate and correct, and that he will be convicted. There's no other way to read it. And she's volunteering that.
consented to the search of your phone, etc.
The best way to protect myself is to not protect them. No alliance. Not to her brother, not to her mother. Her mother was looking at her like she was the best meal that you could ever imagine to eat when she was on the stand, and Wendy only looked at her when the prosecution asked her to identify the defendant. Nothing.
You gave testimony in this case, right?
Yes,
All right. And your parents did not, correct?
they did not give testimony.
They have not testified. They
They've
have
not been
not given a
asked to come
police.
testify, but they would if they were asked.
Okay. And have they given any police interviews?
They would have, but the police never contacted them.
The police did contact them, didn't they? And they refused.
No,
Well, they've had the same number since 1979. It can't have been difficult to find.
Are they represented by counsel?
they are represented by counsel.
And they'll come testify if we want them to.
Is it a short little Jewish guy with a beard and a bad tie? Kind of little weasel face, keeps going on about jigsaw puzzles. I think I've seen that guy around.
If they are under state subpoena, just like I was, they would come testify.
All right. And do you know what they would testify to?
They would testify to what
So it is conditional then. Your testimony is conditional. If they were under state subpoena, they would come and testify just like I was. But at the beginning, Wendy, you were saying that, it's not a question of I needed it. It's just given to testify. It's just something that you're given to testify.
whatever they know.
And do you know what they know?
I have no idea what they know.
Okay. They've never told you.
No,
You've never asked them
no.
because you never had any conversations with them about this murder.
I've been advised by my counsel not to.
All right. So nobody, including your brother Charlie, has admitted or denied to you any involvement in the murder one way or the other.
Correct.
Same with your parents.
Correct.
All right.
So they never said it wasn't us. Yeah, we actually never mentioned the name Markel again.
One moment, please, Your Honor.
That's the real reason that we changed the boy's name, is because we just couldn't have it in the house. Each boy has a picture of their dad above their bed that they say good morning to and good night to every single day.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank
You
you.
want her subject to recall?
No, sir. She's free to go about her business.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you.
Free to go about her business. Well, this is almost exactly, I think this is May or April 2022. And 4 years on. Free to go about your business. Yeah. Keep going. Go about that business.
All right, let's put Ms. Rodriguez back on the stand and complete her cross-examination. At this point, Mr. DeCoste, are you prepared for that?
Actually, Your Honor, we're going to waive cross on Ms. Rodriguez. Counsel and I have.
We're going to wave cross, and then we're going to go out in the parking lot and cross wave. What is that? Sounds like a skateboard move. You think Christopher DeCoste can skateboard? What should we check out now? I wanted to do a contrast to the before shot. Maybe a bit of Tariq Awas, huh? How do you think Ramen Noodleson is getting on? $20.29, maybe. That was my search term. Wendi Adelson cross-examination 2029. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's how long we'll have to wait. Another 3 years. She'll be 50. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? The same age that Amy Adler was when Dan was killed. She's 50. Yeah, I know. No, she doesn't look 50. She's a good 50. Yeah. What a bitch. Which one is it? This one? This one. Okay, yeah, this is good. We'll check out Mr. Hand Grenade, I think. 4611.
It was big.
It was the bigger one, and
He did very well in his classes.
so that would
I registered.
Okay, so we're talking about the contrast of the breaking point for Wendi Adelson, when it all changed, when the opinion became clear that, whatever the public opinion may be, it all became clear after the Christopher DeCoste 2022 cross-examination during Catherine McBanower's retrial, right? Because this is what the temperature of the room was back in 2019. Watch Mr. Hand Grenade cross-examine Wendi Adelson, because she looks like she's playing with a little mouse, a little legal mouse.
That looks like my car. That looks like bourbon, yeah.
Who had your kids the morning that Mr. Markel was killed?
The kids were at preschool.
But I mean, at what home did they wake up that day?
That morning, I think they were at Danny's house.
That's something that she does, and that is part of coaching, isn't it? You know, maybe Wendi Adelson doesn't need much. Maybe she's been practicing for that kind of thing her whole life. But what did she just do there? Let's just see that again.
Bourbon, yeah.
Okay, so very nonchalant with the bourbon. Yeah, that looks like bourbon. Yeah, it looks like my car. Could be. But then here,
Who had your kids the morning that Mr. Markel was killed?
The kids were at preschool.
But I mean, at what home did they wake up that day?
okay, you almost saw her realize the opportunity and leap on it. You can read her mind sometimes, because what she did there with acting like she didn't understand the question and give the wrong answer. Who had your kids the morning Professor Markel was shot, right? Now, that is obviously, and any human being would know, which parent was, responsible for them that morning. Who did they wake up with and who took them to school? That's what the question meant. Let's see it word for word.
Kids the morning.
Watch Wendy's face. Watch her listen to the question, and then eyes up, look like she's thinking of the answer, but you see her just go, look, there's room for me to give the wrong answer there. And if I do that, the effect is that the prosecutor is made to look unsteady, like they fucked up. And on the little tiny influences that shape someone's judgment, that chips away at their credibility. If someone drops things all the time in your office, you don't trust them to hold your cup of coffee while you wait for the elevator, or whatever you do you? You don't give that to the office klutz. And that's an extreme example, obviously. But Wendi Adelson, seeing the opportunity to misunderstand or give the impression of misunderstanding the question by answering it incorrectly on purpose, is a tiny little 0.01% thing that chips away at Georgia Cappleman's credibility in front of the jury. And Wendi Adelson knows that full well. You can see it. You can see the moment where her eyes twitch and she goes, aha, there's an opportunity. And she's sitting on that witness booth. This is why it's like a boxer going into the ring. You saw that really last time when she walked out of testifying at Donna's trial, and she was flanked by all of her people behind her, gave Harvey a kiss on the cheek, and then out the door. Walking like the boss, of a major company.
Who had your kids the morning that Mr. Markel was killed?
The kids were at preschool.
Yeah, when she comes back when she comes back, it's similar to the thing when a memory clicks and you've gone to think, oh, who was it? Oh, yeah. You know, then you come back. But she does it too suddenly. And that's because she goes, there's that opportunity for me to fucking chip away at her personality.
Who had your kids the morning that Mr. Markel was killed?
The kids were at preschool.
But I mean, at what home did they wake up that day?
That morning, I think they were at Danny's house.
You think, let me think, what, that morning? Well, it was, 7 years ago. Or no, 5 years ago at this point. Things are, has anybody forgotten where they were on 9/11? Does anyone have to think and go, God, where was I? Where was I? Does anyone not remember? God, it was like 25 years ago. Oh. Yeah. I'm very busy.
Did you stand to gain anything from your husband's death, like financially?
No.
Do you know how much the lawyers that assisted you with the divorce process and litigation that followed the divorce, do you know how much they cost?
How much my lawyers
How
or
much you
Danny's
spent on
lawyers?
lawyers, yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Fair to say
Yeah.
it was a lot of money?
Yeah, don't know, couldn't tell you. I just signed checks.
It felt like a lot of money to me.
How many different lawyers did you have during the pendency of your divorce and the litigation that
Yeah.
followed?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it cost for the lawyers, but it was definitely more than a TV. Do you know how many TVs I could buy with what I spent on lawyers? That's a point, isn't it? You could fill a fucking hotel with the best. What's a really good TV make? Samsung, is that good? LG, Sony. I don't know. What's the best TV make? Let us know in the comments.
I had 3.
Do you know how many Mr. Markel had?
Why doesn't everybody just tell us what make TV you have at home right now in the comments? We want to know. We want to see if there's a correlation with true crime podcasting viewers and TVs. Grundig. Who's got a Grundig?
I don't remember.
I'm going to see if I can guess a couple to start us off. I'm thinking Michelle is definitely Samsung. Am I right, Michelle? Or LG? Good call, Jill Jane. I really like their remote controls. Who else? Kiwi Vanderman. Panasonic. Well. Classy. And then, who else? Who else can we guess? Come on, Kiwi's got to have a TV. Kiwi's TV is probably... I don't know what Kiwi would have. I don't know where Kiwi is. I think geolocation makes a difference, big difference. Samsung, I knew it, Michelle. Good work. Good work. They have the best, what do you call it? Menu software.
Do you remember your mom suggesting a plan to offer Danny $1 million to allow the relocation of you and the children to South Florida?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Wow, look at our old logo there. I bet you didn't even notice it changed, did you? Let's bring up the new one. This is an old video.
I'm sure I knew about it at the time that it happened, and then I had my memory refreshed about it recently.
Did you ever make the offer to Mr. Markel?
No.
Did you move to
Yeah,
South
again.
Florida after their father was killed with the children?
I forgot that we were gonna, hang on.
So after he was killed, I packed a weekend bag and went to South.
After he was killed, I packed a weekend bag. Okay. What was I just gonna say? What did she just say?
And then I had my memory refreshed about it recently.
And does that happen? I'm sure I knew about it when it happened, and then I had my memory refreshed about it recently. My memory pills, 2 in the morning, 3 at night. And then 7 days and my memory comes back. It's my treatment. I have the best memory doctor in Florida. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot that we were going to offer my ex-husband $1 million to allow me to relocate to Miami. Yeah, no, it was like, they told me, they reminded me, and I was like, what? I don't remember that. And then they refreshed my memory, and I was like, oh, yeah, that. I remember now, yeah, that. We're talking about 5 years ago. Nothing happens in 5 years, but also a lot happens in 5 years. But also, you should be able to remember 5 years ago, especially something so significant, right? I mean, you might not be able to remember what color toothbrush you had 5 years ago, although I would have a good guess. Probably blue, green.
Did you ever make the offer to Mr. Markel?
No.
No.
Did you move to South Florida after their father was killed with the children?
I packed a weekend bag, okay?
So after he was killed, I packed a weekend bag and went to South Florida for what I thought would be a couple of days, maybe a week. My son's birthday was July 29th, and I thought we'd be back in Tallahassee by then.
Did you
And
ever come back?
I did come back a few times, but not.
What do you think? Side by side. It is better, isn't it? Just looks nicer, like, just softer, firmer. Soft and firm at the same time. Which is a winning recipe for anyone. What was that?
Not permanently.
Okay, so you ended up moving there permanently.
I wouldn't say it's permanent, but I'm living there right now.
Okay. Well, it's been 5 years.
It has been a while. I've been exploring.
Yeah, I'm just coming out of my grief phase, and I really need to be around family in my time of need. Okay, well, it's been 11 years. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about going back to work 1 day a week, 1 half day a week. I have to get back into the hustle and bustle after my grief, after all my grief.
Options for employment in many different places.
Okay. And when you initially...
Many different places. Let's guess. Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago. Where else? One more city. I don't know. I think even Chicago might be a push for Wendy. The Windy City? What is she going to do with her hair then? It'll be blowing all over the place. Yeah, I'm taking Chicago off the thing. I don't think that would. I don't think it would. Yeah, no. Austin, of course. Yeah. Austin, New York City, or Washington D.C. I'm looking for employment in many places, many high-profile, exclusive places. Yeah, no, I want an office on Pennsylvania Avenue. Neville, darling, hello. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Keep an eye out for that mailman.
You left to go to South Florida. Was that the same day as the funeral service for your husband?
No.
Was it the day after?
It might have been the day after or the day after that. I don't remember.
Did you change your children's last name from Markel to Adelson?
I did.
When was that done?
So
Nancy Grace put children on TV, showing their heads.
after Danny died, there was a lot of press coverage. And CNN put pictures of my children's faces unblurred on national television, newspapers.
Those sadistic butchers.
Put their names without any consideration to the fact that they're children. And
I
I thought,
appreciate that, but the question is when did you change their names?
when they started school, I registered them under my name, hoping it would keep them safe.
And was
then
that approximately a year after their dad was killed?
it was whenever I registered Ben for school, so it was soon after. But I didn't legally change their name until after that.
Okay. And where did they start school? When you say you changed their name when they started school, was that here in Tallahassee or somewhere else?
No, it was in South Florida.
So that fall, they started regular enrollment like you would in the normal beginning of the school year?
That's right.
Okay. And did you also eliminate your older son's middle name?
When I legally changed their names, I did.
And you just dropped that from the name?
I did.
Okay. And that was a name that came from Dan Markel's deceased maternal grandmother, is that correct?
The name started with an A, which was to honor my grandfather, Aaron Adelson, and the second half of his name was to honor Danny's grandmother.
Okay.
So we lost an honor to both families.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Garcia.
Well, you know, by your own choice. I mean, there was no requirement. Even if we're to believe that, okay, she had to change the boys' names because she was in fear for their safety, because jealous Jeff was going to gun them down in the sandbox at their play school. Okay. Yeah. No, got to be safe for the kids, for sure, for sure. But yeah. Well, you never told us why you changed the middle name. You just said, we lost an honor to both families. I'm a victim. I'm losing honor and I have to come to Tallahassee. Major victim. Now, where's my impact statement?
Ms. Adelson, I represent Mr. Garcia, and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Oh, this is good. Watch Wendy play with this guy. I mean, there's the face right there. Look at it. Hungry, evil cat looking at a dead fish. Ready to purr.
Charlie's your older brother or younger brother?
I'm the youngest in the family, so both my brothers are my older brothers.
I'm the itty bitty little lamb of the family, in case you didn't know. Yeah.
And how many years older is Charlie than you?
He's approximately 3 years older.
Would you describe your relationship with your brother as a close relationship?
I would.
And the brother I'm referring to is Charlie.
How close? Because a lot of people are wondering if you two have ever, engaged in activities of a sexual nature.
And just for the record, all the questions I have with regards to brothers is going to be focused just on your brother Charlie, okay?
Okay.
Charlie graduated high school,
He did.
college,
He did.
dental school,
He did.
so he has some.
Well, wasn't it a case of he got expelled and then it was near the end of term anyway? So Harvey said, "Well, look, what if I made a donation and you just gave him his certificate and he didn't come back ever? Is that a win-win? Okay, where's my checkbook? And I want you to name the library, the Harvey Adelson Library."
Substantial educational background.
Yes.
Would you consider him to be book smart?
He did very well in
What's his favorite book? And Of Mice and Men doesn't count.
classes.
So that would potentially be a
yes.
yes. What about street smart? Do you think he was kind of street smart?
I think he's good with people.
And would it be fair to say
I think he's good with people. Yeah, he's good at, sort of maneuvering and manipulating people, especially young women, impressionable women, bringing them under his command. Yeah, he's got a need for control, and that manifests in him seeming kind of chatty.
say that he has a wide range of friends, different types of friends?
He has a lot of friends.
Would you say, are there certain friends?
You see, Wendy's laughing here because she has the knowledge of more than most, right, of legal proceedings, even if she's not criminal law. I mean, she's been through supposedly the training and all the books, right? So she knows what she's talking about better than we do, or at least I do. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Time will tell, I suppose. Time will tell. But yeah, in this case, she knows that Mr. Hand Grenade has nothing in these questions. She's laughing at them right in his face. Yeah, I think he did well in his classes. Very, very different attitude with Christopher Decoste, right? There she was guarded. This is a picnic in the park for Wendy, isn't it?
That he goes out night clubbing with?
I don't know. He doesn't talk to me about night clubbing.
Okay. Well, when he has social.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to me about night clubbing. That's a sleazy activity, and I spend all my time. What is the thing that Wendy would have you believe that she does in her wholesome, virtuous existence as a strong-willed, successful single mother of two. She was at book club in Tallahassee. Dinner party. I mean, but what about at home? What does she want us to believe that he doesn't talk to me about nightclubbing or a crazy nightclub? Oh, I've never been in a nightclub in my life. Sleazy club. So what does she want us to believe? That she is writing a book? Having a dinner party, obviously the children, but, you know. And she uses that as a fence, doesn't she? A fucking brick wall. The only thing she ever says about herself is, I have to be singularly focused on taking care of the kids. And it's like, well, yeah, guess what? They're in their early mid-teens and don't want to be around their mother all the time. Like, hardly ever. Like, at all. So what do you do all day, Wendy? Oh, no, I have to be focused on the boys during this difficult time. And that's offense, because it's like, oh, God, you know. It's a card. It's like, yeah, I'm playing the mother card. I have to be singularly focused on these boys. Back off and don't ask me any more questions because I've played the mother card. It's a fence. And she puts it up constantly. But, like, what's behind it? Because it gets to a point where the very nature of there not being anything else than, I have to be focused on the boys. You know, the very nature of that being the only thing that she ever says just exposes the fact that it's not true, right? And then you go, well, what else is there? What is she doing all day? There can't be a book club every day. I don't know. For free time. Tennis?
Social events, do you ever go out with him socially?
I haven't in a long time. I'm pretty busy with my kids. But I have once or twice gone out with him.
And is it the same types of friends that he goes out to the club, to the...
See? I'm pretty busy with my kids. I don't go to the nightclubs. I'm pretty busy with my kids. Back off. Observe the fence.
to these social events with?
He would usually go with his roommate, who's... I don't think they're living together anymore, but they lived together for a while.
Would you agree with me that your brother Charlie was I don't want to call him like a socialite, but he would frequent the nightclub scene?
I honestly don't know that.
So your single brother is a pretty handsome guy, right?
I think he's handsome.
Right. We've seen his pictures. Good-looking guy. Never been married, right?
No.
And what kind of car does he have?
For a while, what does he have? What is he driving right now?
Well,
He likes cars. Like
He has a lot of cars, right? And these aren't like Hondas or Toyotas. They're Mercedeses and Ferraris, right?
he drove an unmarked police car for a while.
But that wasn't my question. My question was, does he have a...
I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty expensive fucking Toyotas. I mean, look at the Tundra. How much do you think that costs? Plus, we are giving one away. Brand new, fully loaded, supercharged, turbocharged, take you all the way to the moon and back over any mountain on planet Earth. And you can get one today. With a cup of coffee on buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics, paypal.me/truecrimemetrics.
Well, did he ever have a Mercedes?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and it wasn't like a C300. It was like a...
Well, how much is a fucking fully loaded Land Cruiser? What did he say? Toyota and Honda. Honda... what's like a really big Honda? I forget.
5 Series, right?
I honestly don't know anything about cars.
Well, it was the bigger Mercedes, right?
It was big.
It was the bigger one. And he also had a Ferrari, right?
I know he had one really fancy car.
I actually like his Lexus better than the Mercedes. The Lexus was all right.
But I don't
With
remember
100,000 miles.
what brand it was.
Okay. So you're telling this jury that you don't remember if your brother had a Ferrari?
Cars are really not important to me. You saw mine. I drove a minivan.
Well, but you're not your...
I'm a simple woman with a simple car. Cars are not important to me. I don't even know what brand or make my car is. It's blue. It's a blue car. It has 4 wheels and 2 mirrors. That's all I know.
Your brother, right?
I am not my brother.
And
No,
you-
I knew he had a fancy car. I just don't remember.
You know, with DeCost, she's on the stand going, I don't understand the question. Is it a question? Is it a question that calls for an unbelievable amount of speculation, Your Honor? But with Mr. Hand Grenade, she just gets to be like, yeah, I am not my brother. You know, there's no need to kind of be vague because the questions are, you know, they're at a lower standard. I think it's fair to say that Mr. Hand Grenade, I mean, he had a tough case. He did what he could, right? I'm sure in another case that wasn't so tough, we'd get to see him do something that really more gave him the opportunity to show off some of those well-honed skills, but not so much in this trial, although I did kind of like him throughout. It's kind of funny to see him up there going, there's no money. You've all seen the movies. It's one guy with a briefcase and a gun. It's like, that's his closing argument. He's saying, you've all seen hitmen on movies, in movies. It's one guy. They don't go up in pairs. He's like drawing on fictional representations Hollywood to prove his point in court. I've never seen anyone try that before. It's something new and different.
If it was a Porsche or if it was a Ferrari, it was something fancy.
Something kind of fancy,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So you have a pretty successful brother?
I guarantee you, even if Charlie Adelson is in Donna and Harvey's apartment and they're getting ready to leave and he's going to go down before them and pull the car out front or something, he doesn't say, oh, I'll go and pull the car out. He says, oh, I'll go downstairs and get the Ferrari ready. Of course, they wouldn't be traveling that. It's 2 seats, but, you know, maybe they're joining him in their car, whatever it is. He refers to it, even among close relatives and family, as the Ferrari, okay? Like most people with a Ferrari do. And I guarantee he had that little badge, black horse on a yellow rectangle, on his keychain. I don't know if it was a Porsche or a Ferrari. What's on the Porsche logo? Stag, I think. Right? You got a stag on the Porsche, horse on a Ferrari, and a bull on the Lambo.
Right?
He's successful, yeah.
And he likes to show off his success with his extravagant cars, correct?
He likes fancy cars.
Okay. Handsome guy, in good shape, right?
He's handsome.
And you indicated that he had a lot of girlfriends, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you didn't go clubbing with him, but were you aware that he would go to like Miami Beach a lot?
I mean,
Or South Beach?
Sure. I mean, I couldn't say how often he went out or where he was going. It's just not something I would really talk to him about.
Yeah, shield, okay. I mean, they're all shields, really, but no. Okay, I'll explain, because here's proof. We have proof. So the reason I was saying stag is because there's antlers, right? But as you can see, oh, actually, is it a stag? Is that bit on the back of the horse's head? Body-wise, it looks like a horse. But the bit on the back of the horse's head could be the hair or antlers. Now we have to do another search. What animal is on the Porsche logo? A black rearing horse. It is a horse. So then why have they got the antlers? It's misleading. Maybe they wanted to play it safe and go for a rebrand later. We need an animal, a depiction of an animal that can be either a horse or a stag, depending on marketing strategies in the future not yet seen.
When your brother took you out to dinner and you vomited, do you remember what the restaurant was?
I do.
Which restaurant was it?
It's called Uvia.
Okay, where's that located?
It's on Lincoln Road.
Oh.
I do. He did make that joke. I do. I remember. She does that all the time. These little, it's like watching a poker player. Maybe not poker, but Go Fish. It's like watching someone play Go Fish, right? Like she's got this hand of cards. You don't know what they are, but she'll lay one out. Those little things that she does. What was it? Do you remember that dinner? Do you remember what happened? Throwing up? I do remember that. That's exactly the same card. Let's say the Four of Hearts. That's the Four of Hearts, and then the other thing she does, which is, he did make that joke. This sort of reticent, thing that she does. That's also the Four of Hearts, right? And what you got to do with Wendy is over time, watching again and again and again, take a note. Four of Hearts means this thing she does. And then another thing she does, which is say the forgetful thing. Sure, I knew about it at the time, and then I had my memory refreshed about it recently. That's the 10 of clubs, right? 10 of clubs, 4 of hearts, and then over time you build up what her whole hand is. And then as she's playing them, you can go, and you can just go, oh look, there's the 4 of hearts, 10 of clubs, 7 of spades, and ace of diamonds, right? And once you learn that much, the thing to do is try to control what card she has to show. Right? So if you're asking a question, you will ask a question and your intention will be, I want her to show me the 4 of hearts. Right? If you can do that, practice, get good at it, then, and I believe that is what Georgia Cappleman has been doing in all 4 trials so far, right? First trial, learning the cards. Second trial, maybe not quite that orderly, but as a whole, as an experience over time, Georgia Cappleman has been learning those cards, working out how to influence and dictate which card Wendy has to show, right? So when it comes to her trial, and if Wendy gets on the stand, Georgia Cappleman can just sing and dance for the jury because she'll be able to go, yeah, see? It allows her to control how the narrative comes from the witness stand when Georgia Cappleman can do things and say things that force Wendy to go 10 of clubs, 4 of hearts, ace of diamonds, 7 of spades. Full house. It's not actually a full house, but you get my idea. That's the best thing, and I don't think anyone's better at that than Georgia Cappleman. That's what she's been doing all the way through, piece by piece.
I mean,
Or South Beach?
Sure. I mean, I couldn't say how often he went out or where he was going. It's just not something I would really talk to him about.
Oh, he didn't tell you about going to Tootsie's? No, what was it? It was dinner at Hooters, shots at Tootsie's, then they went on to Floozies. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we ever learnt where they went next. Probably Colombia.
When your brother took you out to dinner and you vomited, do you remember what the restaurant was?
I do.
Which restaurant was it?
It's called Uvia.
Okay, where's that located?
That was the Ford Hearts.
It's on Lincoln Road.
Okay, and Lincoln Road's in South Beach, right?
Lincoln Road is in South Beach.
Are you aware if your brother took steroids?
No, I'm not aware if he took steroids.
What about if your brother used illicit drugs?
I'm not aware of my brother using illicit drugs.
And the fact that you're not aware if he used it doesn't mean he didn't use it, correct?
No, I'm just saying I don't know.
Do you know when Luis Rivera started serving your brother drugs?
I don't know anything about that.
Your brother would frequent South Beach and Miami Beach sometimes, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? The restaurant that he took you to was in South Beach, correct?
I was living.
Adelson's on Ice Hummingbird, I think, is a great idea. I mean, will true crime go in that direction to kind of, casino town show, what would you call it? Show business. Maybe. I mean, those Crime Con is always held in a big fucking conference center, right? I mean, have it at an ice rink. I mean, there's probably one close by. Why? Because they're big buildings. Conference centers and ice rinks, big ice rinks at least, have to be on the outside of town. And what do you get then? You get clusters. So I think it'd be very easy. Are you telling me that if you had a fucking 10,000 seat stadium and tickets that were $50 a piece to Adelson's on Ice, and you were standing outside Crime Con where all those people are going in, that you wouldn't sell out every seat? How much money would that be? 10,000 times $50. That's oh, hang on. Let's it's zeros, 2 zeros. Is that? It's $1 million. Is it? 50,000 times, what is it? No, 10,000 seats, $50 each. So $100 would be 2 seats. $500,000. And then the skaters, you pay them what? $200 a show. It's only on for an hour and a half. $200 a show. You need what? Maybe 20 people. So your expenses are $200 times 20 people is 4,000. And then the venue rental, say another $8,000 for that. So you're 12 deep. Publicity, flyers, and other stuff. I mean, another $5,000 for everything else. So what are we now? 12 plus 5, $17,000, and we're making 500,000. Oh, come on. I mean, tell me that's not fucking easy to set up. few graphics.
Close to that restaurant at the time.
And your parents had a home in South Beach also, correct?
My parents did not have a home in South Beach. They were renting an apartment.
I'll rephrase it. They had a place to stay in South Beach, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. My father arrived to this country with 2 buttons in his pocket and he never made a peep. They were renting a property in South Beach. Mold in the fridge. Mold in the fridge. What did he do? Did he go to the government with his hand out? No. He kept cleaning teeth and he worked hard until he got into the Icon building.
I have no further questions.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So Chris Decoste's colleague, Tarek Was, yeah, I think we'll give this a shot because it's much, much softer than Chris, but still, let's see.
Good afternoon, Ms. Adelson.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? You doing okay?
I'm fine.
You nervous?
Let's get that screenshot.
Good afternoon, Ms. Adelson.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? You doing?
Is that it? Or was it just after? She has so many. Man, if you go through a video of Wendi Adelson's facial expressions frame by frame, it is terrifying because there are so many different muscle tensities going on in her face. It changes constantly. It almost like shape shifting. It's weird.
Okay?
I'm fine.
You nervous?
Am I nervous?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm nervous.
Okay. Now you stated on direct exam.
Yeah, I'll pick up that little. Thanks for that, Tara. Yeah, thank you. I'll take the sympathy card. Yeah. I'm a nervous little love lamb of the family. Yeah.
Nation that you are a lawyer.
I am a lawyer.
Right. So you understand that the oath that you took before you took the stand, correct?
Yes.
You know the consequence.
Man, I got to get a cup of juice. We're going for pear today. Beautiful, simple, clean, wonderful, and it's in the fridge, so it's ice cold.
Consequences of not being truthful here.
Of course.
And you also have a separate obligation as an attorney to tell the truth, right?
Of course.
Okay. Now, do you know who killed Dan Markel?
No,
Did your brother have anything to do with killing Dan Markel?
I don't believe so.
Your mother is Donna Adelson.
She is.
Where is she right now?
Right now, she's with my children
Not in
In-
Tallahassee.
in Miami.
Okay, she's not in jail.
No,
She's never been arrested before.
no.
Okay, she's not even testifying in Miami right now.
He's probably in Fort Lauderdale right now.
Okay, but he hasn't been arrested,
No,
hasn't been charged,
no,
and he's not testifying in this case, is he?
no.
Okay. Are you aware if the state has attempted to subpoena them to come to court?
I believe they have received a subpoena to come to court.
Okay, and it was for them to come and testify in this trial, or you don't know?
I don't know for certain.
Okay, but you know they've received some form of subpoena?
I heard about that.
Okay. When is the last time you spoke to your family? Your mom, in particular?
This morning, I called to check in on the boys.
Okay. How is your relationship with your parents now? Is it estranged in any way, or?
Yeah, Miss Kawas. I know my parents have received a subpoena to come to court, but I don't know if it's for this case, the murder trial, or if just, someone is suing them for malpractice again. Because that happens with some regularity.
You still have a good relationship with your parents.
I still have a good relationship.
What about your brother Charlie?
I still have a good relationship.
When is the last time you spoke to Charlie?
Probably last week at some point.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned that Charlie is a father.
He is.
When did he have his child? Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Okay.
He was born in December 2017.
Okay. So about, I would say that's over a year after Miss McBann was arrested.
I couldn't say.
Okay. Do you know who the mother of that child is?
I do.
Who is she?
You know when children grow up and they find out they were adopted, or find out, I mean, God forbid, that they were the product of a rape, or you know, some horrific thing that can be realized for some, right? Charlie, Reuben Noodleson, is going to one day either be told or realize that he came into this world as a desperate play for, you know, we see this frequently, usually with women defendants, but Charlie went for this one where he was like, okay, maybe if the prosecutors see that I'm a dad now, they won't want to rip me away from my son, and they'll see that I've settled down and probably won't kill anyone else ever again. I better have a kid. And one day Ramen Noodleson is going to go, That's who I am. That's my purpose for being. Should be strange for him, huh?
You want her name?
Yes.
Her name is Bree Price.
Okay. And is he married to her now?
He's not married.
Are they still together?
Depends on the day.
And do you know if he has any other
Depends on the day. Yeah, well, I can't say I'm surprised.
girlfriends at this
I
point?
have no idea.
All right. Keeping up with the media coverage in this case.
I don't watch any media related.
You told me to cheat. When we were at the airport, you said goodbye, I love you. And I guess you know, and then you said, I guess since you're in the Philippines, you can sleep with whoever you want. So you told me to cheat, June. When really what June was saying was like, please see that I'm sad about that, and promise I'm the only one. And he turns that around, not only doesn't give her that, but uses it to say, as the example, the evidence that says, you told me I could go and cheat. Knowing full well that he's referring to her desperate attempt to encourage his loyalty, commitment, and, etc. And, etc. Spaz. I mean, it's a low blow, isn't it? To weaponize the thing that the other person was trying to use as a shield. Wow, that's deep. That's pretty good, isn't it? Look at that. You turned your victim's shield into your own sword. Wow. That was pretty good. I like that. Which is exactly what he did. And I think that's an Adelson thing, right? God, I gotta write that down. What is that? Turn your victims, weaponize what your victim was trying to use for their own shield. Wow. That's worthy of Robert Greene. Fucking Machiavelli. Weaponize your victim's shield. That's the 49th law of power.
To this case.
Okay. So, but you are aware of the attention that has been brought on this case?
I'm aware only because of the constant death threats that I receive, yes.
Okay. So just to specify.
Okay, yeah, victim. Death threats. Nancy Grace showed my boys' heads. Had to change the name from Aaron Adelson to nothing. Victim. The list goes on and on, doesn't it?
You haven't watched any of the specials that have been on air about this case?
I have not watched any of them.
Do you know if your parents have watched any of the specials on this case?
I advise them not to. They may have seen bits of them, but I don't know for certain.
What about your brother Charlie?
I don't know.
Did you watch the state's opening statement in this case?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay. So you're not aware of what the state's theory is in this case?
I'm not.
What do you think Charlie watches to, just... You know that bit that bit of time when you're staying in a hotel, where you kind of get back and you get back to the hotel after a day out with people, and there's going to be a break where people chill a bit, then shower, get ready to go out at night, right? And there's that moment, there's that bit, there's about maybe 45 minutes where you just lie on the bed and watch TV. What does Charlie watch at that moment? I think one of those sales channels about yachts, right? Where they take you around all the yacht, but it's like just a really, like not a TV show, it's just pictures of the yacht and a voice going, with luxury interiors throughout this 58-foot sailing two 1800cc cubic engines at the rear, control your, whatever, that voice that does those presentations. I love that voice.
Now, you mentioned on direct examination something about listening to some recordings that the state provided to you.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the first time you ever listened to those recordings?
Yes.
Do you know what those recordings are about?
There are many, many recordings.
Okay. Did they give you all of the recordings?
I don't know. I listened to what I was given, but I don't know if there's more.
How much time did it take you to listen to the recordings that you were given?
Again, I didn't listen to the entire thing, so probably about an hour to go through all of the recordings and listen to excerpts of each of them.
Of each of them. So you're not aware if the state gave you all of the recordings that they provide, that they have in their possession?
I have no idea.
Okay. Did they have you listen to any recordings that occurred before April 19th of 2016? 2016.
So I'd have to see the document to remember the exact date on it. I do remember my birthday's in April, so I remember the dates being close to that, but I don't remember exactly.
Did they ask you to listen to the phone call where Charlie Adelson is talking to Miss McBanwell about work?
I listened to something.
Sustained.
So it's fair to say that they only let you listen to portions of the phone calls that they think are important.
I was given conversations and I listened to some of them to authenticate voices, but I don't know. I imagine they thought it was important for me to listen. That's why I did.
Did you listen to a phone call?
Ask your question, don't answer, fill out rule, please, ma'am.
That will be wrong if the question contains.
Let's go that far.
we had this big fight, and after that point, I didn't really want to be with him anymore.
Do you know what the fight was about? Do you
I do.
remember?
I remember what the fight was about.
What was it about?
He didn't trust me.
In terms of,
Oh, yeah? Any reason for that?
He thought
other people,
he
or-
thought I was cheating on him.
okay. And you said you broke up, when was that?
We broke up. It would have been one of the last weekends in June.
So fairly close to when the homicide was occurred.
Right.
Now, that spring break, which would have been the month of March,
Mhm.
didn't you and Jeffrey Lacasse come down to Miami?
We did.
Okay. And you stayed with your brother, Charlie?
We did.
Okay.
When did you break up with Jeff Lacasse? We broke up, it would have been one of the first weekends in June? Or the last weekends in June? Okay. Yeah. You see, she wouldn't want to say, we broke up just before the murder, days. Yeah. Actually, the last thing I remember saying to Jeff, days before the murder, was, hey, Jeff, are you still leaving town Friday morning, 11 o'clock? Are you, what, and if you weren't going to go, why wouldn't you go? Yeah, you still go up Thomasville, heading north, right?
And do you know at that time who he was dating?
I don't.
Okay. Does it sound, if I say that was when he was dating Catherine Urbano, is that a correct statement or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember having dinner with Jeffrey Lacasse at a restaurant and with your brother and that Catherine McDaniel was there?
I have a vague recollection of it.
Okay. And do you remember if this restaurant had outside seating?
We always used to go to the same restaurant, and so I know the restaurant, it has outside seating.
Okay. And when you met Catherine McDaniel,
By the way, I know some people forget sometimes proper YouTube live stream etiquette is to leave a fucking like on the video. So if you forgot, if your brain is dead and your conscience is at the bottom of a ravine, please fish hook it back up into your own head and click the fucking like button. Thank you. We appreciate it. And coffee.
Charlie introduced you to her as his girlfriend.
Probably.
Okay.
Definitely as someone he was seeing, right? I don't remember if he used the term girlfriend, but in a romantic kind of way.
Okay.
Not as just a friend.
And am I characterizing Mr. Charlie Adelson correctly when I say, you had said he has lots of girlfriends?
I've met lots of girls over the years, which is why it's hard to remember whether I had dinner with one person versus another.
Do you know what his thoughts and beliefs are in marriage? Does he not believe in marriage?
I don't think he's so pro-marriage, no.
Okay. Do you know how many times you met Katie? We talked about the time on the beach, and then we've already now talked about dinner.
I remember vaguely those two. I don't remember any other time.
Do you remember the name of the person that was in that picture with you?
No.
Okay. Does Yindra Velasquez Mascaro sound familiar?
No.
Okay. Now, you didn't have a really close relationship with Katie, right?
No.
Okay. Did you know that Katie has 2 kids?
I did.
Remember, Ms. Kawas, we're not going to get all first names.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, I apologize. Did you know that Miss McBanoa had children?
I did know that.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with Miss McBanoa the details of the divorce that you had before she even knew who your brother was?
That wouldn't be possible because I only met her with my brother.
Okay, so you didn't talk, your
Hello, Bubbles.
relationship wasn't a close relationship where you would talk to her about Dan Markel.
No.
Do you ever remember having a conversation with Miss McBanoa about Dan Markel and your divorce?
It's very possible that I brought it up,
Mm-hmm.
but not.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's very possible that I brought it up within 1 minute of meeting her. I had a tendency to do that. And then what I would typically do at dinner is make sure that the entire conversation of our whole eating party was monopolized by my marriage struggles. Yeah, so I'd say chances are high.
Nothing stands out.
No, not at all.
Now, I want to talk to you about the time of the murder, okay?
Nothing stands out. No, not at all. It's like Prince Andrew. And you don't remember if that was a young Russian woman giving you a foot massage in his New York mansion. No. I've racked my brain. I've gone over it again in my mind. It wasn't me.
The day before the homicide, all right?
Okay.
You had talked about your custody situation with Dan Markel, that it was a week on, week off. Is that correct?
That's right.
And
at
an
that time.
overnight stay.
Don't forget Wednesday night overnight. What is it? I hate that. I hate that. I don't want a schedule for anything ever, okay? Unless, well, just my own programming. And once we've got that in order, we're gonna maybe start eating at regular intervals. Who knows?
Switch on a Wednesday.
That's my best memory.
So a better way to describe it would be, if it's your week, you have the boys, but on Wednesday night they will sleep at Dan Markel, do an overnight sleepover at Dan Markel,
Right.
and then return them to you the next day.
Or return them to.
That'd drive me mad. I'd be like, no, let's do week on, week off. You keep them all week, and then I'll keep them most of the week. The other week. Or how about I'll do 6 days, you do 8. 6, 8, 6, 8. I mean, you gotta break up my free time with the kids on a Wednesday. That's game night.
School. And then,
you pick them up in the evening.
right.
So the day of the homicide, do you remember what day of the week that was?
I believe it was Friday.
Okay, so the day before would have been a Thursday.
Right.
Does anyone know? Does anyone not know what date September 11th, 2001 was? I'll break your hearts. It's a Tuesday. A Tuesday.
Okay, do you remember what you were doing that day?
I don't.
Is there any way that you would have been walking down Trescott Drive with your two sons the day before his murder?
No. I don't live in walking distance, so there's no reason why I would have been walking down the street. No.
You and Mr. Markel weren't on that kind of talking or speaking.
Oh yeah? You weren't hiding in a bush in an owl t-shirt with a Latin king sending, what was it? What did Grish say? Sending a picture of an owl to Instagram so that in the event...
Where is
that
the
Wendy-
evidence prior to the murder? Where is the evidence? Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence.
Get me paid, bitches. Thank you so much, Bubbles, for that great show of support on buymeacoffee.com. That is a classic bubble move. Bubble bath. Bubble... What other words come after bubble? Bubble bath, bubble... I would have thought bubble wrap, bubble bath, bubble wrap, bubble... There's got to be more, right? I would have thought there would have been loads of words Bubble gum. Gosh, she's good. She's good at this. But actually, Christina, you have a habit of going off onto the wrong criteria, which is fine. Bubble gum, wrap, bath, and toast. Okay, like toasting champagne, a bubble toast. Okay, I had not heard that. There's something that you eat, bubble and squeak. None of you know what that is. There's something that you eat or drink, and it's called bubble tea. Bubble tea, right? Bubble tea. That's a thing. Bubble gum, tea, wrap, bath, squeak. We'll come back to it. Well, thank you so much, Bubbles. What did Bubbles say? Love the commentary, M-Dog. I like that, M-Dog. M-Dog. Like T-Dog, right? Travis Alexander. So I'm M-Dog, and together we are trademarked. TM. Good. Trademark dogs.
Speaking terms where you would be at the Trescott home and he wasn't there.
No.
Okay. You wouldn't go and take the boys for a walk on Trescott Drive.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. And as far as you knew at that time, the kids, what school were they attending?
They went to creative preschool.
Okay, and when you would drop the kids off at creative preschool, do you have to sign them in?
You do have to sign them in.
Okay, and then, so there should be a record of...
No, I bet the creative play school really makes a point of how many fucking colouring pencils they have in their playrooms, right? Yeah, we're creative. Yeah, we let them scribble all day. And, yeah. It's just like any other play school, but it's marketed like, yeah, creative, for creative geniuses. Just like, the kind of children, 2-year-olds that go here can hope to be suggested to the School of Arts and Sciences, SAS, where Ben was going to get that scholarship, right?
Of the days that the boys would have been at the preschool.
That's right.
What time would you drop the boys?
That Wendi Adelson won. Yeah. And you got a lot of scholarships, didn't you, Wendy? Yeah, I know, Brandeis. I got a full scholarship, didn't pay a penny. Oh yeah, was it Yale or some other school in Massachusetts? Yeah, no, full scholarship. And then, I went over to Cambridge on a Truman scholarship. So yeah, that was also free. And then my son wins a scholarship to a exclusive, school for the gifted in Tallahassee. Or maybe that's the wrong place for the school to be. Maybe that's why they had some vacancies that year and needed to fill the seats. Yeah, we want to make a school for the gifted, but we've put it in a place where there are no gifted people because they all live in Miami. So we'll have to give some of these educations away to these future ditch diggers around here.
Off? If you remember? Is it an early morning thing or?
I would drop them off in the morning. I don't remember. Maybe it was 8, maybe it was 9.
But nothing late like 11.
I don't think so.
And then what would be the usual time?
It's a good point, isn't it? They should make a preschool where you can drop the kids off, but late at night, like 11:30, And then they stay there, and then they're there already in the morning, right? That's great. I'd pay extra for that.
Time you pick them up in the afternoon.
I think it would depend on whether I was teaching or if I had court, what I was up to, but my guess is sometime between 3 and 6, I would pick them up.
So would it be fair to say that, you know, around 11 o'clock in the morning, the boys would probably be in school on a weekday?
That would be right.
Okay. Do you know someone by the name of Whitney?
I do know Whitney.
Who is Whitney?
Whitney was a girlfriend of my brother's.
Okay. Do you know who introduced Charlie to Mr. Adelson to Whitney?
I don't.
Do you know how long they were dating?
I don't.
Do you remember when they started dating?
I don't remember when they started dating.
Okay. When did your brother buy you that TV?
I remember having the TV in the house on Aqua Ridge. So sometime after the fall of 2012. And then
I remember having the house in Aqua Ridge. I remember having the TV in the house at Aqua Ridge. Well, yes, Wendy. You were living at Aqua Ridge when the date, 18th of July, when you were getting that TV repaired, or apparently. Of course you remember having the TV at Aqua Ridge, but she says it like that. I remember having the TV at Aqua Ridge. You know, that memory is just coming back into my brain now. You know, things like that. She really gets wrong, doesn't she? Really gets wrong. You see, that's a bad hand. The thing I was saying about the 10 of clubs and the 4 of hearts and the 7 of spades and the ace of diamonds. She's just put a bum hand out. A duff card. Nothing. Joker. See that again. I remember the TV. It was at Aqua Ridge. There's the face. Oh, God. What an ugly, horrible, nothing, empty vessel. Excuse for a human being we see before us now. What are you for, Wendi Adelson? Not to improve the world. I can see that much.
I don't.
Do you remember when they started dating?
I don't remember when they started dating.
Okay. When did your brother buy you that TV?
I remember having the TV in the house on Aqua Ridge.
When did your brother buy you that TV?
I remember having the TV in the house on Aqua Ridge. So sometime after the fall of 2012. And then sometime between 2012, 2013.
You see, she doesn't want to put a commitment answer, obviously. She needs some liquid movement. She needs some movement, some play. She needs some play left in that space, right? So can't commit to a time. But also needs to make it appear that it is difficult for her to come to that time. Gee, well, I do remember having it in Aqua Ridge, so it was obviously he got it sometime when I was in Aqua Ridge. But as far as a month, it's 5 years ago.
Something like that.
Do you remember making a phone call to Charlie that morning and having a conversation with him without going into the details of that conversation?
Which morning?
The morning of Danny's murder.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Judge. Mr. Markel's murder. Do you remember how long you spoke for?
I don't remember how long I spoke for.
Now, you had described your brother as a talker. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think I described him as more of a joker than
Joker.
a talker, but he does talk.
Do you remember the circumstances under which he made that statement that the state talked about hiring a hitman, but instead I got you this TV? Who else was around when this statement was made?
Hey, welcome back to our very own king of words, acapella.
Well, he tends to repeat himself, so he kept repeating that joke because he thought it was funny.
Okay, but do you remember the time frame of when that happened? Like, was this way before, during the course of your divorce, or was this after?
It would have been when he bought the TV.
When he bought the TV. And that would be after the divorce.
Well, not after I filed for divorce, right? But not after the divorce was finalized. So sometime after, I really don't remember when I got the TV, but maybe sometime after, starting with the fall of 2012, sometime around then, but it could have been 2013.
Do you know, now your parents' apartment on South Beach, are they still living there?
No,
Okay, so they moved.
they did.
At the time, do you know how much their rent was in that apartment?
I have no idea.
You said they did not own that property.
No.
Okay. And now you said that you stayed in Tallahassee after the homicide.
I stayed for a few days.
Okay. And do you recall if Detective Isom tried to call you
After I had left,
before you left Tallahassee, but after the memorial service for Mr. Markell?
he did not call me before I left Tallahassee, no.
Did he try to call you?
He called me when I was already on the road,
Okay.
about 4 hours away from Tallahassee.
All right. Did he ever try to talk to you again?
No.
Has the prosecution? When is a
And you didn't, phone him up to say, hey, any news? Well, he didn't call, so, I just assumed that he had everything he needed. Yeah. No, we needed to go into hiding straight away. Our lawyer told us, don't speak to anyone. Don't eat for 3 months, and then go and drink a bottle of tequila. Oh no, what was it? Martinis.
first time the prosecution reached out to you to speak to you about what happened?
I don't remember ever talking with the prosecution.
Let's go sidebar.
Procedure.
Wendy, please stop showing us the back of your messy head. Horrible, horrible. It's like a bird has been in her hair, using it as a nest, and then had to get out quickly because a fox was getting ready to attack. That's what a bird's nest looks like when it has to leave in a hurry. I wanted to get a shot of it now. A bird's nest when he has to leave in a hurry. I can't really get a good shot, but you know what I mean. You've all seen it.
Proceed, Your Honor. Okay. Do you know if Detective Isom ever tried to reach out to your parents?
I don't think he did.
Do you know if Detective Isom ever tried to speak to your brother Charlie?
I don't think he did.
Now, you are testifying today under a state subpoena, correct?
Correct.
And that state subpoena gives you immunity for your testimony, right?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury, since you're an attorney, what immunity is?
Immunity is freedom from prosecution.
So that means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
The state.
Oh, just missed it.
Immunity is freedom from prosecution.
Gotta freeze frame that Illuminati shape-shifting, mask-dropping lizard queen of a face.
So that means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
Boom! Is that it? Not quite. It happens so quick, you know.
Immunity is freedom from prosecution.
So that means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
Even that's, it's like a 25th of a second is where you gotta get it, but that's close.
The state isn't going to decide to arrest me.
Do you know if they consider you a suspect?
I don't know.
The state isn't going to decide to arrest me. You get flashes of Jodi Arias, don't you? No jury will convict me. No jury is going to convict me, and you can mark my words on that. No jury will convict me. Guilty.
No?
Now, the life insurance policy that the state was asking you about, have you received any money from the life insurance policy from Mr. Markell?
I don't know if maybe in the beginning, the life insurance that Danny owed me about $100,000 when he died. I do think that his family made that disbursement. I don't know if they paid that through the life insurance policy, but other than that, there's been, the life insurance policy is money put away for the kids. I've never seen it.
Do you have access to that, or you have?
Can you imagine the fucking letters, legal letters, paperwork that the Markell family were getting with his estate taken into account and everything like that? I mean, it must have been, hey, we got another legal notice from Wendy's lawyers saying that Danny owed her $100,000. What do you think? Do you think it's true? And they're going, well, there seems to be a lot of it. I mean, I guess it could be true. Why? I mean, he had plenty of money to. Doesn't seem like something. Do you think she's making it up? And then as they time goes on and on. I mean, I just think there might have been a lot of letters like that going, heartless letters. You are required to pay out of the assets of his estate because of an outstanding debt. Great. Just the news you want to deal with when you're coming to terms with the fact that your son and brother and colleague and friend has just been, ferociously gunned down in the prime of his life. All to play for, so many things to go on to achieve and enjoy and everything. And then you got some stupid letter from this person saying, yeah, no, he owed me $100,000. So do you want to just send a check or, send a check or transfer? If you then it's quick.
No control over that.
I have no control over that.
All right. All right, and I have. Where did you say? So your boys are now down in Miami with your mother, correct?
At the moment, yes.
Okay. And you stopped letting Danny's parent or Mr. Markell's parents see the boys. Is that correct?
2 years after Danny died, I stopped visitation.
Okay. Do you have any intention of letting them see their grandchildren again?
I do. We've actually been in discussion the last few weeks.
No further questions, Judge.
Redirect.
How many times have Dan's parents been able to see your boys in the last 5 years?
In the last 2 years after they died, they've been able to see them every time they've asked to see them.
Okay, what about the last 3 years?
Since 2016, they have not been permitted to see the boys.
They have not been permitted
That's right.
by you,
By me, yes.
right? And that's not through lack of trying on their part.
No, that's because of what they did.
Okay, but they want to see those boys, don't
They
they?
very much want to see the boys.
All right. And Dan Markel's sister is the, I'm not sure if it's the right word, but the executor of that trust for the boys, is that right?
I think she has fiduciary responsibility over the trust for the
All
boys.
right, thank you. That sounds right. Did you at one time hold that position in Dan's will?
Oh, before we got divorced, I probably did.
Okay, but sometime after the divorce, he changed that over to the sister.
He must have, yes.
Okay. And did you initiate proceedings to try to fight that decision that he made to make the sister the executor or the beneficiary, have the fiduciary duty for this money over you, to the disbursement to your children?
Can you repeat can you
Okay,
rephrase the
so
question for
did
me?
you initiate
Repeat the question because Hello Shiny just got here and she needs Georgia Cappleman to repeat the question.
any type of proceeding at any point to try to contest or fight Dan Markel's sister being appointed as this fiduciary for the life insurance for the boys?
I don't believe that I did.
You did not.
I don't remember doing that, no.
No further questions.
All right, any juror have a question of this question? If you do, write it down. We'll go sidebar. Adelson, I don't remember about something. What did you mean by that?
So over 5 years have passed since Danny died, and I'm
Speak
sorry,
to them.
sorry. So more than 5 years have passed since Danny died, and a lot of the things.
Yeah, it's a good job I'm rich because I was able to get NASA and the best brain scientists in the world to come together and form a co-op to develop a technique so that human beings would be able to pull a memory out of their head from 5 years ago. I'm actually in the Guinness Book for that, for being the first human being to have a memory from 5 years ago. Actually, it was 63 months. So, we beat the record by quite a stretch, thanks to my team at NASA and the worldwide brain science community.
That we're talking about today, I just don't remember at all. And so to refresh my memory, to make sure that I could remember things, certain documents were shown to me, emails, legal pleadings from the case.
Basically, they developed a special pill called the memory pill, and I take 2 in the morning and 3 at night, never with meals, but always on a full stomach.
So that I could remember what was happening at that time.
One of the
Side effects are, well, they remove any feeling or empathy that I might have been able to have for any other living thing. That's gone, but I do remember something from 63 months ago.
Yours was a little confused with the timing. You had said you had a boyfriend and that it was not clear to them whether you said it was a month after.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's clear to Jeff either. Even now, he's still going, were we together?
Your separation and filing for divorce or a month after it was finalized.
Sure. So I started dating someone who was a friend of mine for many years, and it didn't become romantic until after I had filed for divorce.
Yeah. He didn't put it in, all the way. He didn't put it in all the way until after my divorce. Yeah. And then he put it in any way he wanted.
So about a month after I filed for divorce, someone who was a friend in my life became more like a boyfriend than a friend.
Okay. What was wrong with the television that had to be repaired?
I think one of my kids might have thrown something at it, so there was a crack in the TV.
Okay. And why have Mr. Markel's parents not been allowed to see the grandchildren?
Well, they were allowed to see the grandchildren for 2 full years, and I used to...
Yeah. So give her a fucking medal. I had to put up with them coming down and demanding to eat out of special bowls in my house. Kosher bowls for Granny and Grandpa. Or is it Oma and Umpa? Michelle says, no metrics, that was a different guy. Michelle, with Wendi Adelson, it's always a different guy.
Cook meals for them and arrange play dates. We had sleepovers. And then I found out that that Ruth Markel had reached out to a foster care agency to try to place my children with that agency. And I became very worried that they were trying to take my children away from me. And so after that time...
To be fair, it would be a bit awkward after that, wouldn't it? It was like, you're getting around for some sort of, family get-together, holiday meal. And it's like, okay, we know you killed our son, and we hope for your arrest. And when you are arrested, to give us enough time to get here from Canada to collect the children, we want them to be placed in a foster care agency that we're comfortable with. We've spoken to them, they understand the situation, and we feel better knowing that the children will be in the care of people that are familiar with our needs. So, happy Hanukkah.
I didn't feel a level of trust that they could spend time with the kids. I was afraid they were trying to take them from me.
Okay. Follow up, Ms. Cappleman.
You seem to have a lot of irrational fears, don't you, Wendy? I was afraid that the Canadians were going to come and take my children away. Take them north of the border, And that Jeff was on the loose and looking to murder my children in the sandbox at their play school, at their very expensive play school in Miami. So I had to change their names to my own. Who were you afraid of, Jeff? Didn't he know your name as well? Yeah, but he knew the boys as Markel. Imagine Jeff going through the roster of every, not roster, what do you call it, register of every play school in the Miami Beach area, just going, here's two kids called Ben and Lincoln, but their last name is Adelson, not Markel, so it can't be them. Better keep looking.
Your reference to the foster care agency, does that have to do with an email that was sent to me from your mother-in-law?
Yes, it does.
All right, that Dan's mother.
Yes.
And that email was in reference to, in the event that you and your parents were arrested in association with this crime, could I please contact that particular agency to assist with the children in the event they have no guardian temporarily until they could get down here from where they reside in Canada. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so they were not trying to take your children unless there was an event where you were unable to care for them.
But because there's no event in which I would be unable to care for them, that feels like trying to take away my children.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you could always get hit by a bus. Heaven forbid. God forbid. Moses forbid. Yeah.
Garcia.
No follow-up question.
McMahon.
Is that it? You're out again,
And
Wendy.
this email about
Gaze.
about
Oh.
there being possible arrests of you and your family, that came right after Catherine McMahon was arrested, right?
I don't remember exactly the timeline of that.
Okay, thank you.
Further, Ms. Captain? No, sir. All right, you can step down. Do we need to keep this witness any further? No, anybody need her any further? McMahon?
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Hold on a second, Ms. Adelson.
Can't get out of that room fast enough, huh? Look at Sigfredo there. Melon head.
Under subpoena, Your Honor.
All right. You remain under their subpoena.
Your
Right,
Honor,
you.
Ms. Adelson has a flight tonight at 7 p.m. May she return home and...
Right. You can communicate with her about any
Yeah.
arrangements if you need her to come back, but she's free to go at this point.
Your Honor, we'll reach out to her attorney when we need to come back.
Okay. All right, last thing you're going to get this afternoon is probably not what you want to hear.
John LaRose really changed his look in the last, since this. I mean, this was 7 years ago almost, right? Wow.
But it was a little legal lesson that one of the jurors raised. They asked a question about the type of immunity that was discussed by Ms. Adelson. It's really not a fact question, it's a legal question. But this is a little legal lesson. In the state of Florida, there are three kinds of immunity. There's transactional immunity, there's use immunity, there's use and derivative use immunity. Transactional immunity.
Man, I really wish this judge hadn't died so that he could put a book on tape in his retirement. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Transactional immunity. I would not want to get out of this courtroom. Transactional immunity is not the same as, what was it?
It means that some person cannot be prosecuted for an offense. Use immunity means that what the person says cannot directly be used against them. Use and derivative use immunity means that what they say cannot be used against them, nor can it be used to develop leads to gather evidence against them.
Okay, but what are the grounds for getting it? Because Wendy has been given use and derivative use immunity, which is very much the middle value of the three types of immunity. Transactional immunity is you cannot be prosecuted for the crime, right? Just blanket immunity. Testimony, transactional immunity, you cannot be prosecuted for the time, which she alluded to thinking that was what she had. I don't know if she actually believed that or not. I imagine that she would know exactly what she had. Yeah, of course she would. John LaRose there. You think John LaRose is going to send her in without fully understanding the type of immunity she has? Of course not. And everybody knows that. Use immunity is just what you say in the court cannot be used against you, which is rubbish. Absolute rubbish, because anything you say in the court they can use to go and derive, right? So Wendy's got the use and derivative use immunity. But why does she have that and not the other one or the best one? What dictates that decision? See if we can find out. In Florida, the type of immunity a witness receives is dictated by state statutes, specifically Chapter 914 Florida statutes, the prosecutor's discretion, and court orders primarily focusing on use and derivative use immunity. This prohibits using compelled testimony or evidence derived from it to prosecute the witness. Okay. So transactional immunity, although less common, this provides full. All right, well, we know that. How do you get it? Okay, let's try again. Florida. How does a witness get transactional immunity? In Florida, a witness obtains transactional immunity, a blanket protection against prosecution for the crimes discussed by testifying under a court order, prosecutor agreement, or by being compelled to testify under a subpoena after invoking their Fifth Amendment privilege. Unlike federal cases, Florida prosecutors can offer this immunity to compel testimony. Wow. So technically speaking, they could go to Charlie Adelson and say, we'll let you go. Fresh start. If you give us your sister. God. I'd take that if I was him. Fucking A. I really want to know if Charlie has realized that his sister stitched him up, set him up, hates him, and is happy he's in prison. Same with the old bag. You know, I don't think Donna will ever realize that, but Charlie will, if he hasn't already. Probably the only thing holding him back is this loyalty to his mother. Certainly when she dies, when the parents are gone, I don't know when we're going to see an arrest. I really, I don't predict it'll be anytime soon. It's a bit like you remember when Breaking Bad happened, and I think it was the final season where you had to wait like a year and a half to. You see, I was lucky. I only started watching it on season 3. Season 3 had already, But then I had all of the 3 to watch, which was great. But then when you get caught up and you're on you're waiting for it to be filmed and blah, 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 produced, you had to wait so long to get the season 5, and then they split it into 2 halves. And there was another big break halfway through the season 5. So, I mean, you just never know. But with something like that, when you're waiting for Breaking Bad, it's frustrating, and you think, fucking hell, you mean I'm not gonna find out what happens for like 2 years? But you just sort of get on with your life, and there's a safety. You feel secure knowing that Vince Gilligan is just getting on with it and doing the best he can, and one day he'll be ready. But with this, you just don't know, do you? There's no dates. There's no like, oh, well, we'll get to see the Wendy trial. I mean, I guess when she is arrested and first appearance and, all the proceedings that happen, but then at some point they set a date. And then it's on the clock, isn't it? But as we saw with Donna, many disappointments, postponements. Someone asked me the other day, do you think Courtney Clenny will have the case continued again? And I was like, well, probably not, because it was scheduled to start December 1st, and then it got Christmas, January, and then they set it for April. But I think there'd already been another. I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it? 3 years. Distancing from the crime. I don't think that's going to work too well. Especially with all of her content. And it's not just the stuff she filmed. There's police body cam. The drink drive arrest. Man, I'd love to know. They didn't tell us. I bet we could find out. It's public record. Oh, don't tell anyone. The blood alcohol content. My guess was 2.8. Which, no. So I think it was Christina asked, is that enough to kill you? No, I don't think so. It might be enough to kill a baby. Anyway, I think we found the point in time where Wendi Adelson, where the opinion shifted from I don't mean that people thought that she was innocent, but there was room. There was room for an idea, right? But after the Chris Decoste changed the tone of everything. Even the prosecutor, even the judge, even the courtroom itself. About how all other trials would go for Wendi Adelson. And he did that with that masterful, excellent cross-examination, one of my favorites. I mean, I don't see any way it can't be in my all-time top 5 of cross-examination classics. It really is a moment in time. I mean, what else is up there? Georgia Charlie, I guess, for sure. Yeah, I mean, let's do a little list. Georgia, Charlie, Chris, Wendy. What else would be good? We've got to branch out of the Adelson case. Maybe next time. Join us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, support the channel at buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics or paypal.me/truecrimemetrics. And leave a like on the video, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Come back tomorrow where we will be discussing more stuff. Good stuff. Stuff that will improve your life and mind. And also, we're going to have a brand new intro, a short 3-second intro. Having a 30-second intro, it's madness. Doesn't work. Total wrong impression. I can't believe we've managed to get this far, having such a long intro for so long. I was thinking no intro at all, And then I thought, no, just a little something. 4 seconds max. Even that's too long. I want it 3. So quick that you don't even know it's there. The invisible intro. That's what it needs to be. Come back tomorrow to check that out. Okay, everybody, good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting, super coffee go getting, super sticker giving, bulletproof metrics moderating. Have a safe drive home. Always wear a belt. And check that your mirrors are, well placed. Look out for cops. Stay within the white lines. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle until it has come to a complete stop. And have a good night's rest. Adios.